message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere.
Discovery Houston, 20 seconds to LOS Tetris.
The first message that comes to you is you are a divine being. You matter. You count. You come from realms of unimaginable power and light, and you will return to those realms.
The vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from Forest Tower Studios, all the way from the Deep South. Now, here is your host, Joe Root.
Broadcasting from a shack on a hill in the mossy creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop. It is Tuesday night, March the 24th, and I hope you know what that means. It's the new moon, the Aries new moon, that is. So we got Aries in the sun, Aries in the moon, and psychic, astrologer, herbalist, mother of Lighting the Void, Mary Dusina joined us once again, and the phone lines are open. I mean, just in the nick of time, too. So we've got the phone lines back. 1-800-588-0335 is the call-in number when we open the phones up, so Mary can start doing your readings. And, yeah, let me give a shout-out real quick just to our sponsors before we get this thing going. AncientLifeOil.com, GetTheTea.com, Metaphorical Archaeology, 214-995-3754. I do need to remind you guys about Barbara's session that she's going to be having Saturday. And just real quick, I need to make a commercial for that. I didn't even get that done, but since we're here, I'm going to talk about it real quick, okay? Because of what's going on with the coronavirus and everything, and the fear and the trauma and all that mess. So she's going to help with some tapping sessions. She's going to do it for free, and there is a Zoom chat that we're all going to do together, and I think it only holds 100 people. So you better get signed up for it, because I have no idea how many people are going to be joined up to this thing real quick. So let me tell you about it. So if you don't know Barbara, she's the owner of Metaphorical Archaeology. She just wants to tell everybody about her free Zoom video webinar this weekend on the 28th, 3 p.m. Central Time. She's going to teach everybody how to do this EFT tapping techniques so you can diffuse those explosive situations and help make a stressful situation easier to live with. Let's see. If you want to go to the link, though, it's going to be a Zoom. Yeah, that's right. Zoom video conference. You go to our Facebook page, Metaphorical Archaeology LLC. Just search that in Facebook, and the event will be listed there. I don't think it's full yet, but make sure you guys go sign up for that. Also, if you need to have a session with her and you've had paranormal experiences cause you trauma or post-traumatic stress, give her a call at 214-995-3754. Also, head over to ufoseekers.com, backed and supported by the Fringe FM and Lighting the Void. If you want to keep a journalistic approach to what's going on, follow them on social media at UFO Seekers. All their videos and investigations are on their YouTube channel, youtube.com/UFO Seekers. One of the only actually certified channel on YouTube with the phrase UFO in it. So I think it's either UFO or UFO Seekers. I'm pretty sure it's UFO, though. Now, I don't know if that helps. Apparently, YouTube's done their thing. But anyways, with all this hell going on, now's the time, right? So now's the time that we're going to do this thing. We've got all the energies behind us. We've got the Aries new moon, the Aries sun. Mary's going to be here to talk about it. And I have to say, it's been a hell of a journey with her. I mean, we started this venture a year and a half ago, Mary? Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep. It'll be 2 years this July.
And you've practically became, I consider you a mother figure to me. You know that, though.
Thank you.
And
I'm very honored to be one of the tribal elders, I mean, I consider that a supreme compliment. And before we get too far, though, I do want to validate Barbara Charlton, besides your other sponsors, to Get the Tea and UFO Seekers, because I've had a lot of UFO experiences and gone out to Sedona and done the treks and everything. So I'm going to remind me to come back to UFO Seekers because they're going to have a very busy season coming up. But I've worked with Barbara, and I will tell you, with my 35 years experience, this is not a commercial she's paying me for. I'm just telling you my experience with her as an intuitive. She's genuine. She's a radiating fire sign of light, and she's got a gift this lifetime to be a resonating ability, a type of medicine energy that can help you finally not be so hard on yourself and to actually have a very viable way to unlock and let go those childhood wounds, those paranormal traumas that sometimes, Joe, it's hard for people to even talk about them, and they don't have a safe outlet to talk about it, most often not in their family. I know times are changing a little bit there, or their friends may look at them as woo-woo or weird. That's getting a little less, too, because society is getting more bandwidth. But when you've got someone like this that's come onto the tribe of lighting the void, I like calling us the tribal light walkers. When you've got someone like this, when you start having these soul anchors that Joe is so gifted intuitively to bring onto the show, the different expertise that he's bringing onto this show, as well as the variety that he likes to bring all of the audience and the listeners. I mean, I've come to just love this audience. I love talk radio. I've done it for decades, but there's something very sincere and sweet about the people that are loyal to you, that donate to you, that validate the regular guests that you have on, and that's what makes it so exciting, even when you go into a different subject, that they know that they've got, you're bringing back the reliables and the people that are genuinely there. Like Joe gives his time every night. I once a month, pro bono, give my 3 hours. Barbara's doing these paranormal, let me help unlock you sessions pro bono. So these are ways, as we move into the Saturn Aquarius at the end of this month, these are ways that we not only celebrate the vibratory frequencies of surging into the solo with Aries as we've now started the new year, but that we actually start to drink more of these elixirs of our soul. Life is meant to be savored and treasured, and we're not just here in the tick-tock external outer world of just sensory pleasures or challenges or tears or fears. It's not just what it's supposed to be. We came, for whatever your beliefs are, we came from the supernatural, we came from a spiritual pasture, and as my native teachers have taught me over the decades, we slip on skin to walk this world but for a while. And certainly, since Joe and I have been talking about, and I remember it well, you can go back and archive it on YouTube, Joe, and get some uploaded back there. Back in October, I told you that we were going to start a series of 6 new moons that would all fall at 4 degrees. This is that 6th new moon. And if you're new to this show, what we like to do for Cosmic Conditions is not just talk about your sign, but talk about, now that the feature is Aries, the first sign in the Western Zodiac, the first fire sign, the I Am of the Western Zodiac, how it's going to be a theme for all of our signs this month until we get to the next new moon. And we'll have a full moon over April 7th and 8th that will be the polarity, the balance to all of this cardinal Aries energy, which will rise full in the sign of Libra, ruled by Venus. So right now, it's like the old book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Right now, we have a surge of this Martian type of energy that says to us one main question. If Aries is the I Am, if that's the motto of the very yang, masculine fire, first fire sign that gets to start the parade of the whole cosmic caravan, if Aries is the I Am, and it's the beginning of the hero's journey, it's the beginning of a new vision quest for us. So for someone like me that's into metaphysics and into astrology, this is when we had the spring equinox on March 19th of this year, in 2020 it was on March 19th, that's a mystic's New Year. That's an astrologer's raising of the eyebrow, because even though in this particular country we celebrate it on January 1st when the sun's in the sign of Yule and winter solstice, cardinal Earth Capricorn. To those of us that are more into as above, so below, and turning with the wheel of the seasons and of life, then for me, it follows the turning of the zodiac. So for me, each of us, whether you're listening live tonight and you're going to join us and your little eyes are blinking because you're having a hard time going to sleep, that's why we come on late night to help you. Late night talk radio is a wonderful, wonderful bedtime story, because it can help unlock you and release you from anxieties. You can call in and ask your questions. You can use a fake name. I mean, Joe and I don't have a problem with that, because the way I work when I'm doing my telepathic clairvoyant work, even though we're on the phone, my eyes are closed and I'm tuning into your voice frequencies. To me, sound is a very important companion friend of mine this lifetime, and that's the way I worked when I was on terrestrial radio, Joe. It was always, the producer would go, nobody can even see you, and you're closing your eyes. And I'm like, because I know the answers lie within, and I'm looking inside of me. And so when we get to that point and you call in, you don't have to have a question. You can simply say, yes, would you please pick a card for me? I'm just open to whatever message it is. And then Joe and I will take off on that for you. But that's our gift to you. So I personally, and Joe didn't ask me to do this, I want to thank all of you that support this show and tithe and donate and love being an integral part of this whole phenomena and allowing it to grow and expand and bring some voices of reason and truth and exhilaration, and just being able to be that voice in the night that can uplift you, as well as if you need to sleep for work or you've had a busy day, then Joe gets it up on YouTube right now and it can be archived. And for my show, that's why I set the boundary that I wanted the first hour to be about the themes and the specifics of a particular month, because you can go back and listen to it several times and say, okay, they did that on the new moon of March. That was on the 24th of March. They're not going to be back on to the next new moon toward the third week of April. So I want to go back and review that. And then, of course, in the second and third hours, we open it up to be of service to you. So thank you for donating to the show, and thank you for your emails and your letters and your, as Joe and I always say when we hear you say, hi, I called 4 months ago or 6 months ago, we love that. We love that validation, and if there's another question that piggybacks onto the event that we wanted to help you navigate through, bring it. Just bring it, because Joe's an Aries and I'm a Halloween Scorpio, so we're not a scared. We're not a scared. You can bring it and we can handle it. We can do it. So I just want to thank you. And I'd like, before we start, I'd love for everybody just for a second, with all that's going on externally, just close your eyes. You too, Joe. All of you in the chat rooms, just close just for a second. I promise I'll make it quick. I just want to do a little reboot, recalibration for us. Right. Just close your eyes and just breathe in, kind of like a waltz. Breathe. We tend to breathe very shallow as humans, so just breathe in to a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just kind of hold it for a count of 3, and then push it out further, more complete than you normally do, while I do this little protective visual for us. So start your breathing in, hold it, then breathe it out. Aho, Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, beloved legions of light, archangels, thank you for all the ears and all the eyes that are tuning in and looking for answers and listening. May I call forth the sweetness of everything of the supernatural spirit world as we now allow a beautiful, shining, shimmering white ball of light to come around us and all that we love and all that love us, whether we're in actual communication with them or not on the earth plane. We just allow the honoring of our ancestors and our elders, our personal sacred guardian angel, our archangels that are working with us at this time, and of course, this blue-green jewel, our Mother Earth, that we're all traveling on in our Milky Way. So we just want to bless our Mother Earth. We want to bless all the innocents that are abiding and living on this planet, whether they're the four-legged or the two-legged or the winged ones or the crawling ones or the finned ones, or our beautiful invisible ones that work with us in the supernatural, to all the elements of fire, earth, air, water, spirit, and life. We call forth the healing. As a tribe, as a group, we join our frequencies to call for the ceasing and the halting of any warring virus or any unnatural attacks on the beauty of the humanoid creatures. But we do thank you for all the lessons that this has brought forth about are we greedy, are we generous, and all that it's taught us about how anxiety can either get a hold of us or that we can courageously rise above it, own our power, and choose to be that force of light that walks this world but for a while. So in grace and in glory, we give thanks for these supernatural mantles of protection and the orbs of light and love to now cast away any and all uninvited influences. So it is, so be it. Aho, amen. Thank you for the indulgence. I appreciate it.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about the themes of Aries. So like Joe said, when we have a new moon, this one's the strongest one of 2020, but every new moon is when the sun and the moon, like the Persian astrologers taught, marry, or they are in concert, or they're in harmony with each other. So we look at that before we look at anything else that's going on with the current orbit and transits of the other planetary archetypes. So Aries is Mars, and Aries is fierce. It's the hero that chooses to go and embark on the journey. And it's that summoning. It's that allowing to take that first step. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't have to be attached to the outcome, but I'm intrigued, I'm emboldened, and I want to go. I want to do this. So what's happening right now is that the sun and moon, even though the sun represents more the yin masculine frequency normally, and the moon, grandmother moon, has a lot to do with our drawing down the power of the moon and our intuitive self, they're both now joined in harmony in a yang frequency. So the way I like to describe that to my clients, whether it's in their charts or when I'm doing intuitive psychic work, is the yang energies. There are 6 yang signs and 6 yin feminine signs. The yang vibration, when you think about electricity, it's the plug. The yin is the outlet that the actual cord of the plug actually connects with to let the electricity flow, to let the current flow. So right now, if we have the first sign of our Western zodiac enhanced by this particular celestial weather, it's a time for our desires to want to take flight. And I like to teach a little bit each show, Joe, not only for yourself, but the people that enjoy learning a little new tidbit with astrology. In the 1920s, there was a clairvoyant named Elsie Wheeler, and you can find some great sites on the internet about this. And there was a collaboration, she was a clairvoyant, for her to work with an astrologer and she closed her eyes, and each zodiac sign has 30 degrees. And so she went through all 12 zodiac signs and got a vision and a descriptive little one-sentence kind of a vignette for each one of the degrees of all 12 signs of the zodiac, which 12 times 30 equals that 360-degree circle. So there's a gal on the internet that did a recent book, although this goes back to Dane Rudger. Her name is Linda Hill, and she did a great book, kind of like a refresh on what's known as, here's your term you write down, the Sabian symbols. S as in spirit, A, B as in bright, I, A, N as in now, the Sabian symbols. So this full moon is in between the 4th and the 5th degree of the Sabian symbols. And you'll find this interesting. The sentence, the vignette, the visual for this is a triangle with wings. The triangle takes flight. So it's about arising, ascending, uplifting. And if you look at what's going on in the external right now, we have all of us are living through an actual historic time. It's iconic, it's historic, it's never happened like this, that the entire world is, in a sense, being grounded. It's like some parents saying, go to your room and stay there, and don't come out until I tell you it's okay to come out. Or when you've been a little kid and you heard a noise outside, stay in your room until it's all clear. So there's this sense of like, whoa, I've never had this before, like from the authority of the governments of the world, and churches are shut down and just like, go home. You can't even go to work right now. And there's a lot of people that are like sitting in these homes that when they were so busy chasing the clock, when they were so busy going to work, going to the grocery, all these things that we just did on automatic pilot, all of a sudden, where we normally go to seek some type of sensory relief, the bar, the gym, the whatever, just like, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to meet my friends at the bar. Hey, let's go out to eat. All of a sudden, it's just like, no, you're not. So it's like we all got put on this grounded quarantine, not being able to be in control. And when you think about Mars and you think about the potentiality in this country of the National Guard, which is very Aries, the National Guard not being so foreign focused, but being like Homeland Security. And it's just like, look, we're trying to get everybody to do this in compliance, and there's all kinds of anger out there. So in resistance, it's like they're wanting to resist the resistance, and there's a whole lot of Americans, it's the A-team now, we've got Aries and Aquarius stuff going on, that are saying, okay, I got my eyebrow raised. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want to get hurt, and I've got a rebel side to me, and I'm kind of looking at all the different theories that are going on about what this is really about. And I want to give you a quick astrological synopsis on this whole corona thing. But Americans are trying to be very patient. Italy got hit hard, not so much Sicily, but northern Italy. And you're looking at all these different theories about this, but what the takeaway is this giant event loomed, this out of the blue, this air, etheric, atmospheric, don't breathe it in. If you get it in your lungs, better wear a mask, better not sneeze, better not cough, better Lysol it, better do this, be careful, you don't know what's going on. It's multiplying. So there was like this huge, something wicked this way has come. And it's as if we're fighting up against some type of invisible battle, some type of invisible enemy. So now more than ever, it's an important time for you to find out where's your soul anchor, where's your psychological shield, how can you get a hold of yourself and use this Aries energy to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to give away my power just to anxiety and fear and stress over the monetary bills. I'm a conscientious person. Yeah, I want to pay my power bill, and yeah, it's tax season. I'd like to get my refund, and I don't want to get kicked out of my apartment. I don't know how my landlord's going to handle this, or the bank or the mortgage company. And I just want to tell you that as they're beginning to say, certainly in this country, it was nobody's fault. I keep hearing this on both sides of the political field, and I can't stand politics, but I'm hearing the same mantra. This has happened in our country, and it's not your fault. So when we get to Aries, it's about we're starting the wheel over with the 12 months of the year and the 12 tribes, and the hero starts the new journey vision quest, and it's about, Aries is about how are you treating you? How have you been talking to you? This is about the self. In medical astrology, Aries rules the head and the face. How are we facing toward, how are we forward facing our fears, and how are we forward facing and summoning courage and the fire and the individuality and the ingenuity of Aries? Aries rules the five senses. So it's those main senses before we get to the extrasensory perception. So it's how we're seeing it, how we're hearing it, how we're saying it, how it smells. So it's engaging all of our senses. So this, for those of you that are holistic minded and herbal, one of the ways you can calm yourself down stronger than any other time of the year is with the essential oils that you're working with. Let's talk about the sense of taste. I've put on my Facebook pages and on my website, there are certain liqueurs. And of course, if you're an alcoholic, this is not something you want to indulge in, but there are certain elixirs or liqueurs that are also very medicinal. Strega is one of them. Strega is the Italian word for witch. And since the 1860s, it was the herbalist females, the yin frequencies, the high priestesses, if you will, that gathered up over 70 herbs and spices. Now, I'm talking some stuff that'll start your engine. There's juniper berries and star anise and cardamom, and it's intense. It's really intense. But for a bottle of liqueur that you can take half a shot of in your water or your hot tea, the reason that it's a brilliant sunflower gold, the Strega liqueur, is because it's got red saffron in it. Now, there are copies out there, but if you get the real Strega, and if you go to the store and you're a culinary a person at all, you know what red saffron as a spice cost. So to be able to get this, you couldn't go out and buy all these herbs and spices for around $36, $37, a big bottle of this Strega. So it's a tonic, it's a medicine, and that's why it tastes stout. The other one that's very healing and uplifting for your immune system is a very light-tasting liqueur, or you can actually get this in jams or tinctures. You're familiar with elderberry, which is the very dark. Its Latin name is sambucol, and it's the black elderberry bush, and it also is very powerful for boosting your immune system against viruses. But if you get elderflower liqueur, the only one I recommend is Saint Germain, because they actually have a timestamp, one time a year, that they can collect those elder flowers that would eventually become elderberries. So these are two types of actual tonics. I can't tell you how my phone and my email's blowing up as far as what can we do to build our immunity. And another very inexpensive thing is for you to go get the regular raw garlic, the kind that you peel the little onion skinny type of stuff off of. It has an ingredient in it called allicin, and allicin is in onions too. I particularly like what they call red onions, but they're purple. But when you actually chop the garlic and put that in the chicken that you're going to cook, or the beans you're going to fix, or the rice, or add a little raw garlic to the burrito or the tacos that you're going to eat. So if you're going to drive-through, just find a taste that you really like and put some little chopped up fresh garlic in it, because that also it's cheap, but it really, really helps clear those arteries and make your platelets not sticky, and it's also a wonderful natural antiviral. So Aries is about trying these bold things and working with a new reboot, reset with your own normal habits. This is a time, Aries is like, I don't want to keep doing things the same way. I don't want to keep feeling just the same way. I don't want to keep running to the same avenues. I need to do it different. I need to be bolder, and I need to have a conversation with myself, not to keep going back to those pre-programmed patterns of how I've been coping since I was a young child. So there's the actual personal battlefield that we've got going on, Joe. It's about this new moon at 4 degrees of Aries, the pyramid with wings. The triangle with wings is about the triune ray, how you can be uplifted and take flight. And this new moon is clashing with the other nodal points that we've got. We've got the North Node in Cancer at 4 degrees and the South Node, the Dragon's Tail, in Capricorn. And here's how astrology can help you in the simplest of terms. Right now, in the third week of March, this new moon actually squares back to our former solar eclipse, which was the day after Christmas. It was at 4 degrees of Capricorn. It happened on December 26th, and that set off the full moon of January 2020. And what happened is we had that huge, historic, every astrologer that's worth their salt was looking at what in the world is going to happen with the Jupiter and the Saturn and the Pluto and the Mercury and the Sun and the Moon and the eclipses, 2 eclipses in Capricorn and Cancer, all happening between the third week of December 2019 up until this point. Well, right now, this new moon is bringing all that roared up in the last month of 2019, the huge historic, which hadn't happened in not in our lifetime, not in our parents' lifetime, conjunctions of Saturn and Pluto and coming into Jupiter and then Mercury and the Sun and the Moon and all of that. And Venus has done her transit of Capricorn as well. So we've had all this Capricorn, and Capricorn is where the established authority must crumble, where the institutions and the power players, if they're corrupt and they're greedy and they're evildoers, it's like the tree that's got to fall in the forest and come all the way down on the forest floor and then break down and rot. It has no power anymore like that. Its time is done. And where Aquarius is we the people. Aquarius is we the people. Aries would be the first one to sign up to be the champion of the cause, and Gemini would say, what a good idea, and Sagittarius like, I'm in. So right now we've got the Aries part of it. It's like, wait a minute. I'm not just going to believe what the tell-lie vision is trying to sell me on, whether it's liberal or conservative. I'm not going to get sucked in to all of this media programming drama. I'm going to pull back from that. I'm going to work on my home vortex. Maybe you need to go through your closets. Maybe you need to clean the house. Maybe you need to take time in nature. It's supposed to be more time with your kids or your animals or whatever. But this is bigger than us. Astrologers knew it was a big deal coming up in 2020. We just maybe didn't see all the details. We know that we knew there was going to be economic resets and some huge thing with Uranus and Taurus and all this Capricorn, because that gets into the material world. But this Aries new moon is saying, listen, because your channel, you're tuning into a different channel right now, and your soul has every one of the answers that you need. So get out of your head. Don't let anxiety be the fuel that you're putting into your tank, and start your morning, start going to sleep at night if you're a night owl, or start your morning with one thing that you're grateful for. And right now, as extreme as it is, be grateful for the fact that you're breathing. Be grateful for the fact that you can do whatever tithe of your time or your kindness that you can do as a collective frequency of everybody being Earth citizens living on this planet, to at least join our vibrations, our energies, and our frequencies to say, be gone, evil. Be gone, mysterious virus. Thank you for your teachings. I get the lessons, but be gone, because you have no power here. That's Aries. How are you commanding your power, and what are you allowing to be in your actual army? So if it's a football team, you're picking your players. If it's a basketball or baseball team, you've got people in the field beginning to look at how they're doing in their there's a name for that in sports, I forget what it is, but they have like these scouts that go out there and look at different people playing. And that's what your higher self, and that's what your archangels are saying to you right now. Hey, it's Aries. What are you choosing to be on your team? And I'll give you a little new moon ritual that Joe and I have not talked about before, because I know he's coming up on a hard break. When you have a new moon, you want to write yourself an intention check. Just like when you write a check, or you're writing out, you're going to look at your debit slip from your bank. So whether it's a debit card but this is a metaphysical exercise. So take a blank check, or do something that looks like a check on a piece of paper. Since you've got time on your hands right now, and actually write out, because this is that Aries the new moon for the new year, what is it you would like to write yourself a check for? So I, Joe Roop, now write this check, and I'm going to manifest this, and you could put a number of zeros, just like you do on a check. You're paying it to yourself. That's what you're doing. This is Aries. It's about yourself. So you're going to write yourself out a new moon, Aries. This is what I call the manifestation magic to me. And so I'm going to write myself a check. It's for you. I'm going to gift myself this check. And in your memo down there, it can be, write small. It can be a lot of things. I now allow myself to manifest in harmony the great trip, my great health, things you can be grateful for, a new car, under grace, no accidents or anything. You don't want to just manifest. You want to manifest it with purposefulness. And I give thanks for this life and all the treasures that it holds. You can write yourself a check for, I give thanks for my viable, wonderful life partner. I give thanks for our harmonious win-win relationship, and I cast aside any of my former hurts or resentments, and I cast aside their former hurts and resentments, and I'm just very, very grateful that I'm at a point in my life. It's all about you, Aries. It's my life, and I'm now ready for that to manifest. And then just sign it with your name, and you can put it in an envelope and put it in your little sacred place in your own space, your altar or your closet, or go get yourself a beautiful little box at some dollar store when they allow you to go, and then just kind of make it special. Some people like to bury it outside. Some people like to just sail it off into the water. But write that check, tonight or tomorrow. Write that check, as we're still in this new moon phase. We're technically in the new moon phase all the way up until it builds, until we get to the full moon of April 7th and 8th. But there's so much going on in the external world. I'd love for you to gift that to yourself, because this is that new moon. You can do it at any new moon, but this is the big guns. This is the Aries new moon. And so it's the surge of your soul excitement, and it's okay for you to surge up the supernatural energies of solo, you. I have to be good to me before I can expect anybody else to salute me, and the kind of love I give, and the kind of making love that I do, and the humor that I bring. And the Aries new moon will help us come back to humor, and laughter is one of the best medicines. So that's what I would suggest for all signs to do, but particularly for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and their other brother stars of the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So those 6 signs are very much enhanced until we get to the next new moon later on in April, toward the end of April, the 3rd week of April, around the 23rd, 24th. So
6 signs again?
Okay, the fire signs are Aries, which is where the new moon is, Aries, and they share a camaraderie with, it's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Those are the most favored right now. And then the air signs, which are also yang vibrations, or our brother stars, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So it's air and fire are yang and masculine, and our brother stars, the 6 brothers that we have in our wheel of life. And then the yin, which we shift to at the next new moon, are the earth and water. So it's kind of helpful when you learn these little tidbits astrologically, whether you're working with yin or yang. So we're in a yang cycle right now. So we don't have to stress about the middle part of what we're manifesting or how it's going to end up or when it's going to end up. Aries is about begin it. Just get your toe in the water and try not to get hung up on the details. Don't be a Virgo, be an Aries. Virgo could get all hung up on the details. Aries is just like, this is exciting, it's dynamic, damn it, I'm bored, I want to have this in my life. Why not? That's Aries.
Hey,
Let's get this party started. Yeah.
For everybody that thinks that like Aries is, quick, they do things quick and then they don't stick with it. Y'all saw, some of y'all were around when we built this radio station, and I definitely built it in that fashion. I just started it,
Bold and brash. Yep.
Yep. 3 or 4 years later, I'm still here, and I still ain't going anywhere. So don't buy into all that. I don't think
I'd say that. Don't say I'm not going anywhere, because I've just in the year and a half with you. Well, because I see that you have made progress, and I see that it is.
No. What I mean is I'm not leaving or quitting.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. Well, and we applaud that. We applaud that. That's the Aries fire. I may go through challenges. I thought you meant I'm not going anywhere with the station, because I'm like, no,
we definitely have been going places with the station. It's just like,
yeah, and that's going to continue. But again, do you remember when you actually, what month and what sign it was when you actually launched it? When you just got up one day and said, I'm an Aries and I'm going to create a station? Like, what sign did you fashion it in?
I don't know.
We have to know that, yeah.
They had no clue back then. I just knew I wanted to do it and did it.
Well, at some point we'll talk about that, what the actual sign of lighting the void is when it was actually birthed, because that's a real neat thing you'll enjoy studying, and I'm sure your listeners will come to bless it too. So here we go with Aries words. Ascend, angels and their messages as above, so below. Now we go, we're shifting and we're changing our destiny. It's intense. It's like we have the world spotlight, but with the world, it's like the external right now is kind of cray-cray. So it's telling us, do you have your sea legs? Do you know how to go find solace and peace within yourself? People that are too addicted to the gym, too addicted to the certain food groups, too addicted to just going to the bar to hook up and meet up and all that's been stripped away from people. So there's a lot of people that have some kind of a sensory addiction that's not happening. And then look at the workaholics. I like to go to work, and I like to work 12 hours a day. And then the people that are working right now, the truckers, the grocery store workers, the nurses, the doctors, the cleaning crews, for God's sakes. Look at all the teachers that are having to shift everything in their home life and work online, and the students going, whoa, I've always been excited about getting out of school in late May and early June, but all of a sudden it's like, well, I kind of got kicked out of school. And I didn't do anything wrong, So there's a lot of upheaval that's been going on. But once again, got to tell you, this coronavirus, it got talked about right around that eclipse of December 26th. But it's first when I've been tracing it back for 2 months, goes all the way back into Scorpio, when the first female doctor in China got reprimanded for saying, oh, something's mutated. This is not good. This is different on November 17th. So what planet rules the sign of Scorpio? Pluto. Pluto in mythology is the lord of the underworld, of death and destruction, and people say, oh no, Pluto in the mystical sense is transformation. Okay, well, you don't have transformation until there's some kind of crisis, meltdown, because humans don't tend to like to shift real big changes quickly. So Pluto is about, watch this, bitch, and it's like your whole world changes in a blink of an eye, and yeah, you go through the crisis of change. You will move from chaos and confusion into creativity and a higher consciousness, but that started back in mid-November, so it's Scorpio. And then it got pronounced and announced, and people that follow these different kind of ham radios like I do, and people that broadcast from all over the world, I've been listening to Europe and over in Asia and people in South Africa, and I started hearing about this in early January, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of coinciding with something going on here with all this Capricorn parade that's going on, this stellium in Capricorn, and then bam, it just hit. I mean, it was just like right after that full moon in January, it started getting stronger and stronger, and all eyes kind of had to glance toward this crown, this corona. And for those of you that don't know, the reason they named it Corvid-19 is the CO is for corona, the VI is for virus, and they're claiming that it leaked out of the China area with them having a problem with it. The D is from December-2019. So that's when it really was starting to be announced by several immunologists and virologists. So that's why they came up with that name, because the actual coronavirus is a fancy Latin kind of name for like colds and other kind of virus. There's just like over 100 of them. But this has got a mutation with it. So Pluto is all about, and Scorpio is the most secretive sign that there is. There's like an underpinning. So my suggestion in your prayers and in your meditations and your ceremonies, when we've got something that can be hidden and secretive and mysterious that's come up in Scorpio and ruled by Pluto, and we've had these conjunctions with Pluto and all these other planets in Capricorn, this new moon triggers it, is their concern is, first they started saying it was just the older people, that's Saturn, Capricorn, the elders of our society. I didn't buy that for 1 minute. There's a lot of carriers with this. There's a lot of like people that don't know that they've got little strains going on because they're not showing any symptoms right now. So education is good, but don't let it slide you into fear and paranoia, because that strains your RNA and that affects your immune system. So my suggestion with this Aries is, how can you, for those of you that remember the cartoons or the series of Star Trek, the very first Captain Kirk was an actor named, he's still alive, William Shatner. And the original Star Trek, they had a slogan that the Captain Kirk said, to boldly go where no man has ever gone before. And you know what? In real life, Captain Kirk, William Shatner, is an Aries. So is Spock, by the way. Spock played a perfect Virgo. But in real life, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, both the main actors, Captain Kirk and Spock, that often sparred together, are both Aries. They're both Aries natives, and they were the first of that kind of show that was ever done. So that's Aries, to boldly go where no man has ever gone before. Couple more things. I want to tell you that when we get to March the 27th, Venus, now here we go to the yin energy. So whether you're male or female, this is the way that you can kind of find a creative boost to your income. You can get all of a sudden have this creative download and get a hard reset on your programming. On March the 27th and 28th, Venus, in one of her home signs, Taurus, the bull, is going to do one of those pyramids, one of those triangles, a trine, which is the most favorable in Western astrology, to the most expansive Fortuna's planet, Jupiter, in the sign of Capricorn. So now the blessings start to be cycling around the earth and the water signs. So especially for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that's your yin earth signs, and the water signs of Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So the earth and the water signs are saying, here's your sweet spot. Listen, go buy the scratch and sniff ticket for $1. Go play quick pick. You know, hey, for $1, you just might be the lucky one. That's March 27th, 28th. On the 28th, Venus, with all that Venusian energy, and we may just be feeling sensual, or we may just need to, music can really take us somewhere. Venus in Taurus will trine Pluto and Capricorn. So we got these Capricorn, Taurus swings of more of luxury and more of peace of mind and peace of heart. Great days for talking more about your feelings, knowing that you're moving to another level romantically or personally. Maybe the one job stopped, but all of a sudden somebody says, hey, I'll hire you. The grocery stores need help. Amazon workers need help. We got to get help over here at the stores that are open at Walmart or whatever. Whoever's allowed to be open, oh my gosh, we need you. Domino pizza drivers. We know it might be temporary, but we got a lot of people that need to do delivery or Uber or Lyft or whatever that is. And then the other thing that's big, is that on the last 2 days of March, we're going to have Saturn dip its big toe in the sign of Aquarius. Any of you out there born between 1990 and 1993, you're going to be starting your first Saturn return. So when you're turning 29.5 to 30 or 59.5 to 60, these are Saturn returns. So those of you in those age ranges, this is going to be where you start to fashion the most powerful changes of your life thus far. So whether you're doing your first Saturn return, if you're 28.5 to 30 years old, or 58.5, 59 to 60 years old, you're starting an iconic cycle that will start March the 31st. Saturn will only make it to 2 degrees of Aquarius. So those people born at the beginning of Aquarius, or the beginning of the opposite sign of Leo, are going to start to get clues and insights about what's working and what's no longer going to be satisfying up until July 2nd. Then it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, and it will start its full transit of Aquarius. Jupiter will move into Aquarius, and we'll talk about that. It's going to be like in November, December of this year. Saturn will shift for that next 3 years into the sign of Aquarius. And Mars, here we go with the ruler of Aries. So it's my A team now. Mars is going to slide into Aquarius on that same day, on the 30th, 31st of March. So all of you have Aries and Aquarius in your chart. I can help you find out where that is. Other professional astrologers can help you understand the regions or the houses that you have in your chart. But all the action, Aries is action. Aquarius is futuristic and aliens and heavens and sky world and astrology. Astrology and taking action and affirming your life and taking a nice firm grip on what you really want to change is all going to start to be favored. Bold, different changes in your life and your attitude all come paramount starting on March the 31st, and it's big. It's really big medicine, and we haven't had that for 30 years. We haven't had it for 30 years. So I'm telling you these things just like a whole bunch of astrologers all over the internet kept yakety-yakking about from the day after Christmas to January. This period in March right now is tying back to that January 7th through the 12th lineup of the Capricorn stellium. Now we found out where our limits are. Now we've clearly seen and we're being shown that you can't just hold on to the external world anymore. Where's your fortitude inside? And where we go on March the 31st into the eclipses of June and July, this is now a signature, so get a grip on what you like and immediately start to recalibrate what you don't like anymore and be thankful for some of these external losses that are showing you, wow, it wasn't my fault, I wouldn't have left my job, but I wasn't happy. This is really giving me the time I wished it would have had with my kids or my family before they leave the planet, my elders and all of that. It's kind of like a forced isolation. We got told to go to our rooms. We got told school was out, and it wasn't in the predictable timeline. So we got shocked. Get used to it. That's Aquarius. And Aries is not afraid of it at all.
Yeah, not afraid. Not afraid
Nope.
one bit.
Nope. And we need to listen to Aries right now. We need to listen to the Aries and the Aquarius, not only that we know, so we can get some inspiration from them, Aquarius and Aries people, but we also, really, if you learn nothing about astrology, find out where you have the A signs, where you have Aries, your team leader, and Aquarius, the one that will get the backside of that vision and get it done, do the back work to get it done. Aries will have the vision, Aries will have the impetus and the initiation to get it off the ground and get it going, the bold, bright to boldly go where no man has ever gone before as far as the adventure, and Aquarius will be able to how to figure out the tech, how to figure out the plan, Stan.
Well,
it's powerful. I love that we're living through these times. I mean, I want it to be peaceful for the world, but I love how we're being challenged.
Yeah, I mean, and like if you say as within, so without, then then what's happening right now to us is a direct representation and mirror of how we are on the inside. So we need to learn a hard lesson here. You know?
Absolutely, and it's also showing up the true character of people. Are they hoarding? Are they greedy? Are they operating just out of fear and penury, me first and screw all of you? You know, these people, these things that I've seen where the Capricorn people in our society, our elders and our ancestors, you'll love this, Joe. Of course, I'm a Scorpio, and I don't care because I can be Sasha fierce in my own way, but I was going through a little store, and this woman was getting all arrogant and trying to take off all the toilet paper of the shelf, and I thought, oh, crap, this is being shown to me. And I saw this little old lady trying to be polite because that generation is, and waiting where she could get some. The woman was taking it on. I'm like, hey, you need to pump your brakes. And she turned around and looked at me, and I said, I'll take that six-pack right there. Just kind of looked at me, and I said, like I said, I'll take that six-pack right there. Want to play?
Yeah, well, you're not an eight. You're not a Scorpio. You're not the Scorpion though. You're more like the Eagle now. Honestly.
I've got Mars in Aquarius, so let somebody challenge me, and it's all like, ooh, you want to psychologically get eviscerated? Yeah, let's play. So I took that toilet paper, and I didn't tell anybody this. I've kept this story to myself, and I said to the little elderly lady that was waiting, and I said, you're not only going to get this pack of toilet paper, but I'm going to pay for it because I don't like the stress I see on your face, and I'm going to walk you out of the store. Do you need anything else? I said, do you need to have a little watchdog walk with you for a while? And she said, thank you so much. I really just needed to get some personal hygiene products, and I really needed to get some toilet paper. And I said, mission accomplished. Let me walk you to the register because there'll be nobody else bothering you today. And her look, Joe, was like when you saved that kitten or you fed that hungry puppy on the side of the road. I mean, I knew I was blessed, besides whatever it is. I don't even remember what it was, $5, $6. I knew that I was blessed, that I had an elder's eyes and the windows of the soul, the eyes, encode me and bless me that day. I knew that it wasn't for applause and it wasn't for anything. I'm only telling the story as an example, not because I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm just telling you there's things that we can still do for $1 or $2 or $5 that can shift someone's despair. And that's the only reason I told the story. Shift someone's despair. Let's be in an army of light. Let's be in an army of helping other people shift and upgrade. And it's those, you spoke about this. Do you remember 8 months ago? You and I talked about we need to get back into paying it forward, random acts of kindness. You brought it up, Joe, because I remember you talking about, I can't remember what sign it was in. It might have been in Libra, but I remember you kept saying that we need to do that, and you talked about it for our tribe. Well, I think we need to let that leash out there. We need to just unleash that and in our own ways, and it isn't always about how much money you spend. It's about championing the moment. That's Aries.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That is Aries indeed. As you get
And the shadow side of Aries is when we give in to the despair, when we do the woe is me, or Aries and Libra are signs that don't like to be alone. And so Aries and Libra right now are also being fortified with this new moon that something really bright and encouraging and innovative and creative, those signs are most put in the spotlight right now. If you're an Aries or a Libra, there's a spotlight on you right now to clean up your act, to work on what makes you feel more confident, to work on your sense of humor, to work on being able to not just focus on your needs and how you want to be happy in the relationship, and to not overgive emotionally or overexpect from the partnership or the don't overwork the people that are on your team. I mean, don't make it all just about you. That's a shadow of Aries and Libra. The shadow of Libra can often be that they end up giving too much to the other person. So imagine the person out there with Aries and Libra in their chart. I mean, Aries is like, quit focusing just on yourself. That's a shadow. And the Libra part of that chart is stop giving everything away to where you compromise yourself. So that's the balance that's being struck right now. And guess what Libra's symbol is? The scales of balance. So Aries is about what can I do to improve myself and improve what I bring to the table in a relationship. And it might be your sense of humor. It might be your sense of confidence. The partner might need a boost, might need to just bear witness to how funny you are or how you've gotten yourself out of hard times. Aries can be very good with the life skills of helping encourage people, saying, oh, that's nothing. You can do this. So to be that emotional or psychological cheerleader. And I'll tell you the type of magic that works right now when we're in Aries season. Many of you out there have heard about working with the pendulum. And you don't have to go out and buy some big expensive crystal on the end of the pendulum. You can take your favorite little chain that you've got, with your little necklace that you like to wear a lot. Actually, that's charged up with your vibrations anyway. It can be, on a leather. You can actually work with a leather cord type of necklace. A lot of guys I know like to wear like a shark's tooth or some type of magical symbol on just a leather cord that they went and they made themselves so it would have their energy. And so you can just get a regular piece of cardboard or construction paper and draw a circle, and on one side put yes and on one side put no, and you just start with your hand hovering over the center of that, so the center is neutral. And when you're working with pendulums, then you can just quietly with yourself, this develops your intuition. Just think of a question and just, get your elbow on the table so you're actually like your hand is the hook to hold the pendulum, and just focus on the question and just say, thank you, Great Spirit, thank you, beautiful source of light, for me being able to get a yes or a no on this. So Aries is real good for pendulum work, more than cards or astrology, because Aries wants their answer fast and now. But it's also good for you to get involved and literally have a hands-on in working with the pendulum.
Well, we are far, far over break, but that's what we needed to do. Are we going to take calls right when we come back?
Yes.
Good deal. All right, because the phone lines are booked right now, so keep calling. As soon as somebody hangs up, keep calling. You'll get in. We'll be right back with Mary Dusina.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by... never mind.
This is Barbara Charlton from Metaphorical Archaeology. If you've ever had a traumatic paranormal experience, the effects of it may stay with you for years. Who do you talk to? You can't go to conventional help. What we do is we use emotional freedom techniques or tapping to actually neutralize the effects of that event. Maybe when you tell the story now, your heart races and your palms get sweaty. You don't even want to think about it because you don't know how to neutralize that. That's what EFT tapping does. It neutralizes those emotions. The circuit that was recorded on is gone. The energy flows freely and you're free of it. And that's what emotional freedom is all about. We offer this as a pro bono service, but this is something that I offer because no one, it seems, is helping people with these experiences. If you'd like to reach me, it's really easy. My cell phone is 214-995-3754. Please leave a message. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Or you can email me, barb.eft@gmail.com. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Reach out to me. It's confidential. This works. You won't believe the results.
Hey, this check is wrong. I worked a holiday and 7 hours of overtime. Not getting paid correctly is a real pain. It could also hurt our boss if our company provides out-of-compliance checks. That's right, construction companies doing business with the government can get fined, or officials of the companies can go to jail if the checks aren't right. It's a law. The Davis-Bacon Act has 30 compliance issues for every check, but there is an easy way for construction companies to be in compliance. EMARS offers Compliant Client, a web-based system that finds and corrects all 30 of the possible out-of-compliance check issues. Users of Compliant Client report an 80% savings in time and money. Running a weekly payroll usually takes about 5 minutes. All 15,000 plus clients of EMARS have never had a legal compliance issue. Plus, they sleep better on check day. Contact EMARS at emarsinc.com or call 480-595-0466.
All right, man, this is Crow 777, and you are listening to The Fringe FM. Right, me old Chiners. I know it's an ad break, but before you lot shoot off and make yourself a cup of Rosie Lee or whatever else it is you're going to sling down your Gregory Peck, you need to listen to me babble. If, like me, you found your way to Lighting the Void via a downloadable podcast, you might want to take a butcher's at the Fringe FM Wind and Kite. You won't Adam and Eve how many other shows there are or what they rabbit on about. Ancient history, conspiracy, the consciousness, the esoteric, the occult, metaphysics, parapolitical, ufology, technology and spirituality, to name but a few. They got featured hosts like Ryan Gable, Jeremy Scott, Alex Exum, Tim Doyle, Cortana and Gigi, Susanna Ross, the Reverend John Polk, Michael Deacon and J.D. Lewis. You might find yourself listening to the thoughts and theories of the author of The Fish you just finished reading. Or you could pick up the dog and bone, call in and tell everyone your own beliefs or experiences. So do me a favour, before you put on the Ansel or crack open a bottle of vino or roll a joint, go to the Fringe FM and see what you're missing.
From a cave in the depths of your mind, it's Lighting the Void with Joe Roop.
The Fringe FM isn't just a radio station. We also provide services for all your audio production needs. If you're interested in live radio or pre-recorded podcasts, we're here to help. We even do audio enhancements and voiceovers if needed. If you want to do a podcast or live radio show and even want the option to syndicate on terrestrial radio, from simple audio file enhancement to live production and call screening, we have you covered. We have worked with some of the best professionals in the business in order to provide coaching instruction for content creation, show structure, and more. Contact The Fringe Digital Media for more at info@thefringe.fm. That's info@thefringe.fm or call 501-777-5631 for a consultation.
Hey, I'm J.M. DeBoard, and when I want to talk about dreams, I look up my man Joe Root and his show, Lighting the Void.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Mop and Bake, the exciting new floor polish that will make your floors shine two different ways, regular and extra crispy.
All right, welcome back to Lighting the Void. I'm your host, Joe Roop, and we are with Mary Dusina tonight. It is the new moon in Aries, and listen, call in, 1-800-588-0335. If you can't get through, keep calling, and you'll get through. All right, so we're going to go. Are you ready to start taking these calls, Mary?
I am.
Let's see here. Let me look and see. Good night. That filled up quick. All right, here we go. So we got a couple of these. We're going to go line 1, 62 area code, but this is 62. Let's see, 620-281. 620-281. Who are we speaking with? Hello. Yeah, that's you. You're on the air.
This is Marshall.
Hey, Marshall. What, you got a question for Mary?
Yes, I called in a while back and told her I met an interesting person, and the interesting person is still around, and things are kind of magical. Just kind of see what she has to say about all this.
How nice. How nice. Congratulations, Marshall. Thank you for calling back.
Thank you
Just
very
like
much.
I said, we like the feedback. Let me see what you get. Okay. Thank you, Great Spirit. Oh, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, which in regular playing cards, because I can read both, is the Queen of Diamonds, just to kind of help give you a visual perspective. So this has to do, this person, or somewhere around this person, is a deep, deep mystery of the feminine psyche. And I feel like this is a person that the more you get to know them, the richer the experience. Like some people like to show who they are and how they are, like wild thing and bold right up front. This one, I feel, is more conservative in the release of their emotional trust and the release of their ability to take something to a deeper, intimate, more emotional level of reliance. But this is steady. This is not boring. This is steady, and the more time that you have into it, the better. But Spirit wants me to tell you, Marshall, so I feel good about that. Spirit wants me to tell you that in the next, how long, Spirit? In the next, 4 to 8 weeks, your dreaming life, is it just going to simply be a place where you go through your day or work or rehearse your life? You're going to actually go to a hidden realm, like another world. Like there'll be libraries, not unlike they talk about the Akashic records, like the libraries where skill sets of another walkabout, or if there's such a thing as in reincarnation, we all have our beliefs. If you've walked other existences before, then there are talents, not just horrors or how we died or what was wrong, but we have talents and abilities, and they're written in codes of light, and they're woven into our energy fields, and it's like they get delivered into the being of humanness that we are when we're most open to receiving them. But in your case, I feel like that as the body is actually resting and your body is recharging, then you fly from the body in a sense in your dream life. You're lucid dreaming, LUCID, where the dreamer is awake in the dream. They're like, oh, I'm in this dream. I recognize the fact that I'm alive in this dream right here. You're going to understand that what's taking place is true in a multidimensional way, and so you might see the scribes or the priestesses or the rulers, but you're going to recognize, Marshall, that the dreams that you felt were only dreams, as in not real enough to hold significance, oh yeah, they are. You're going to have those kind of dream experiences, and that could start as easily as right now, Marshall. I mean, it may have started to just amp up a little bit to where you sit back going, oh, hell yeah, I'm committed to that ride, but it's not going to be something you have to chase or work at. Now, I would suggest that you put on certain kind of, maybe just off your smartphone, that you go look for those different megahertz type of, 580 or 480, whatever it is, where you do some Reiki music to where you're getting more of the sound healing. One that I adore is by Jonathan Goldman called Holy Harmony, where they actually do a mantra, a chant that's firing up your whole endocrine system and all your chakras. There's another one called Angel Love by Aeolia, Aeoliah. Those are incredible to leave your body on, just absolutely incredible. Do you understand the dreaming thing?
Well, I completely understand the dreaming thing, and here's the thing. I had a stroke back in July and August, and I thought my life was over, and things have changed dramatically since then, and it's like I'm living a new life, like a new chapter, if you will.
You're not just living a new chapter. You opened up a whole new life book, and if you'll notice, the way that you knew yourself, you thought so completely before. I mean, we always learn things about ourselves, but we kind of basically know what we like, what we don't. It's like you're like, did I have my higher self walk into me? It's just like I don't even like the same foods anymore that I did. Like you're really shifting. Yeah, that's real, Marshall. Yeah. That's real. Otherwise, I couldn't have confirmed it for you. It's not me, but I mean, you're getting it confirmed for you tonight by our mutual guides, wanting to make sure that you get that pat on the back going, yep, it's real. And it is. And I feel like that this current dynamic of this person that you met, I'll go as far and as bold with you as to say, I don't think this is your first time together. I don't think this is your first, as the Aborigines call, your first walkabout together. You've maybe had a past life connection together. This just feels like it's a connection that has purpose more than I'm really attracted to you. It's got a purposefulness to it, and I feel like you're going to actually work in tandem on something. Like your lives are going to begin to merge on a project or a goal together that both of you look at each other and grin of like, I really like doing this with you. I really like being a part of this with you. Yeah. Like a new story in the making.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Okay. Well, you guys are wonderful. I thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. As we say in Italian, capisce? So you understand what the spirits are saying to you, Marshall?
Yeah, all right.
it's time to do some reading.
There you go, brother.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you for calling us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, and happy dreams.
All right.
Yeah,
so
thank you, Mary. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome, sir. All right, so we have the other 6-2 area code, 620-212. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with? Hello.
Hi, Mary and Joe. This is Ashley from Southeast Kansas. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
We've got our Kansas. It doesn't feel like we're not in Oz anymore, Dorothy. We're in Kansas. Thank you. You have such a melodic voice. You have such an ability to. Do you ever speak or read stories, or there's something about the quality of your voice that can be very soothing to the people that need comforting or want to be around you? I mean, don't take this wrong, but you could be like the person that was at the memorial or the funeral home that could be the greeter that would really calm, or at the hospital that would really calm down people that were coming to visit somebody in the ICU. There's something about you that, I know that may not be your question, and yes, I'll pick your card, but it's just like Spirit wants me to tell you, don't ever think that you don't have a lot of healing flow. Some people it's because they sing, or it's but with you, it's something. There's something very soothing about the actual pitch and tone and timbre and quality of your voice. Have you ever wanted to do something with your voice?
No, not really. I actually don't like being in front of people, but I do teach succulent workshops.
There's something about either what you have to say, how it gets delivered, how people remember you by your voice. There's something about this that's going to get stronger over the next 2 years. I don't have all the details of it, but I just want you to kind of, just like a car, I want you to park that. You're going to just like you're driving that piece of information, and you're going to park it for now because it doesn't feel like right now. That's why I said, is this happening? Because it feels like it gets stronger, and it's. I certainly understood it when you said, no, I really don't like to be around people. I mean, and maybe it's going to be more like Joe. Maybe it's going to be like there's something that you choose to do in a Zoom meeting or over the internet, or that you choose to not actually be face-to-face, so to speak, or maybe not on Skype, but it is actually your voice, that it's something that you will end up doing some kind of online course, or, you'll specialize in, but your voice would be needed, in other words, to get the information out. But did you have a question? I digress.
No, I just kind of wanted you to pull a card. I've just had a lot of new, amazing changes come into my life, and I closed a really big chapter of my life as well, and I just kind of want a little direction without really knowing a lot of, what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah. Less details are best anyway. The guides first want me to tell you congratulations, that it took a lot of chutzpah and personal strength for you to step up to the plate and say, okay, I'm up on this diving board and I'm bouncing up and down, and it's the high dive, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my leap of faith. So congratulations on that. The card I get for you is the 6 of Cups, which is the 6 in numerology of hearts. So cups or vessels or chalices are symbolic of what's flowing out of your heart, what you're wanting to see, be the waterfall out of the heart chakra. And the 6 has to do with a new way to build emotional satisfaction and emotional security in your life, not unlike when we've gotten out of an irritating job, or we've gotten out of a destructive type of relationship, or we finally set a boundary with that relative that just was taking the last hair off the goat's butt. So this has to do with, I'm done with that. That was a liability, and I just needed to get that behind me, but I also want to learn from that and not jump with both feet in the new job or the new relationship, or let that relative play the same betrayal game on me again. So this has to do with spirit and your new guides that are working with you, saying congratulations. And the visual of this card is there's 6 golden chalices. 6 is a number of building emotional security. It has a lot to do with your domestic energies, your home environment. So you may think about redecorating that, improving that, relocating from that, unless you just did a relocation. But this has to do with new, brighter social flowers coming into bloom in your life, like you're in a new city or you're meeting new people or you're going into a different vortex of how you're connecting up with people in some way. And I really like the energy of May and June. So I feel like as far as the new chapter, I feel like that the launching of the actual tangible results of that, like I just keep hearing May of 2020 is like you went into a crystal healing temple. There's something that you, although you've already done these changes, I feel like that it's the restoration, it's the cure, and you found your safety. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in a strange, weird way, it really does.
Yeah, they wanted to use different words with you.
Because I'm actually moving into a new house like next week. So. Okay.
So you see you're busy doing that, but you haven't had the full emotional, psychological decompression, which is your restoration. Now, you're still in the busy phase. But that day that you've got your stuff unpacked and you're sitting down and you look out the window of the new vortex and you say, wow, I did it. That's the restoration. And that may not really be fully ingrained in all of your energy centers until that first part of May. I'm really liking the first part of May. So it's not that it's going to be, fakakta till then, but I feel like that you own May, that you're able to see that you're not just an actress in this life. You're not just limited to being the writer of your script. You're actually the director. And I think you take the director's position in the first part of May. And it's nice. Congratulations. I mean, I just keep hearing from Spirit, congratulate her. She dodged a bullet. She did very well. We're very proud of the silent courage that she had to summon to do all of this. Apparently you went through a lot.
I did. This all started about in August. So
yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Oh, thank you, honey. And keep Kansas nice and warm and bright for us. You're our little Void Walker tribe member out there in the Midwest. So we want you to keep all the tornado energies away, and that it's going to be the golden streets. You're going to do your little part over there in the little hub of our wheel of light.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
You
we'll
guys
talk
have
to you
a
when you
wonderful
call
evening.
in. Thank you, honey. We are.
Okay.
You too. All right, so looks like we got next is 630 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Joe. It's Junior from Illinois. How are you?
Good, Junior. What's on your mind?
Well, I'd like your audience to know that I'm now one of Mary Dusina's clients, and every time I have a phone session with her, she's always on the money. So, Mary... You're welcome, but it's the truth, so I had no problem saying it. On your website, you mentioned that Leo and Aquarius were going to be most affected in terms of this new moon, and so my sun is in Virgo, my rising is Leo, and my moon is in Aquarius. So my question is, in what aspect of my life can I maximize this new moon energy to benefit myself and others?
Great wording of a question. Well done. We want to go with your rising sign because although you will share a birth date of anyone all over the world, all of us, born on our a month and day, certainly, sometimes for a whole nother generation on the year that we're born, it's that rising sign. It's the front door of our chart when it comes to prognostication that holds the most weight, that gives us the most gold. So with Leo being the front door of your chart, this new moon is more favorable because it's a new moon in fire. Leo is a fire sign. So if Leo in your chart is the rising sign, the ascendant, then automatically we're in your element for some type of bolder, brighter, like a lot of the dross, a lot of the heaviness starts to lift off and it becomes more of an innovative cycle. So Aries for Leo, because it goes, if Aries is the first fire sign, Leo is the second, Sagittarius is the third fire sign. So what happens is when Leo's first, like in your chart, it rules the ascendant, starts the first house, the door opens, then Aries comes around to be the area of philosophical strengthening. It has a lot to do with marketing, promotion, reaching out, letting people know of the types of wisdoms and talents and skill sets that you have. It has a lot to do with like writing the prescription for your success, getting those ideas, like goal setting and getting those ideas, and also out of wherever you live, like connecting across the globe or connecting with someone that's going to come. Like this wouldn't be a whole lot of activity to do in your own actual town that you're living in. This would be more a time to kind of pump up that foreign mystique, like what if I was going to do this in this line of business, why don't I go ahead and just check out an area of the globe that's always fascinating me. And the card that you've got is called the Leap. It's number 16, and the key words for it, it's like a person that's actually being able to be uplifted by a shaft of light, and their arms are out, and there's orbs and stars all around them, and literally like they're being blessed by this heavenly light coming in right into the face and the heart chakra. And so it's like literally just they can feel the upliftment in their soul. And so the words are ecstasy, bliss, and belief. So the way I wrap this up with your Aquarius moon is I feel like as we come toward these Aquarian vibrations over the 30th and the 31st of March, that's when your Aquarian will kick in. That what it has to do with the more innovative, the more unique, thinking outside the box, the more futuristic, the more that you kind of work on improving some of your maybe computer skills or technical skills, or meeting someone, like when you walk into a computer store, when they allow us to do that again, and you can like actually maybe even do some online instruction of how to beef up more of your ability to like that whole computer, internet, website type of stuff. I see something very creative, like a seed, an orb of light, very creative coming for you. And I really, really like the summer. I really like Memorial Day going into the middle part of July. And I feel like that it's going to have to, there's a bouquet, and your other card is the King of Pentacles, which means that there's going to be, this is going to be an idea, a seed idea that brings in the actual tangible earth currency. So I feel like there's something to do with the currency of your creativity actually manifesting and taking a tangible earth form of money in the hand, like actual profit in your hand. But it may take you as far as really meditating on this and praying on this and saying, you know what, I'd be good at that. I'd be good at that type of marketing or fundraising or whatever. And I feel like something about that is going to turn into work, and that piggybacks onto other ways to where you just kind of start going up that ladder of being good at presentation and good in marketing, good in sales. And it's just like the person's like, wow, you're a natural. I keep hearing that, boy, you're a natural at this. So it's like you finding your natural sweet skill spot is what I keep hearing with you. But the Knight of Pentacles is the Jack of Diamonds. So it has to do with knights or messengers, and it has to do with the message of you're going to find your niche. You're going to be able to pay homage to a creative vibration that excites you and that you vibrate well with in a compatible way, but you're going to also find your niche creatively. I like it. It's very good.
Great. Thank you very much, Mary. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Joe, for having me on your show.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Junior. Yeah, that's cool, man. He's a cool guy. Like him.
He is. He's real nice energy. Very, very respectful. Very polite.
Guess what? We've got one line open, and we've got to take a break. The phone lines are full. Look, well, actually, there's one line open. You better get on it. 1-800-588-0335. Mary Dusina's with us. We'll be right back.
The Fringe FM.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hey, this is No Way Jose, a Northern California Piscean stuck in the Arizona desert. I'm a void walker, and I got the shoes to prove it. So what do I do when my soul yearns to delve deep into the realm of the unknown? I aim my satellite straight into the night sky and catch a smooth ride on the KTLK-DB radio waves. I tune into Lighting the Void with Joe Root on the Fringe FM.
Joe, Lighting the Void is the best show on the planet. This is Barney, your friend from Facebook. Thank you and all the crew for all you do. Namaste, my friend.
This is Macon from the foothills of North Carolina, and I am a void walker.
G'day, void walkers. This is Lily from down under Australia. The world may be small, the enigma is greater. So let your curiosity take you for a journey with Joe Root.
Hey, this is V, coming in from Central Maryland, and I am a void walker.
This is Kevin Doherty, a beginner void walker. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I know a little about a lot, and as Leonard Skinner said, I guess the rest. I learned a lot from Mr. Root in the show, and heard it from the beginning. I knew right then he was going to be a new Art Bell. Thanks for all your shows, and keep it up.
Hey, this is Derek from Mass, a.k.a. the Night Stalker, and I'm a void walker.
This is Mark from Chicago, and I walk the void to ascertain what is consciousness.
My name is Jared Johnson, and I'm from Humboldt County, California. I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm a void walker. Thanks, Joe Root.
I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to The Fringe FM.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
Have you ever seen an ad or banner which brought you a feeling that someone is reading your mind or even listening to your conversations? Your online data is being used against you. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy protection easy and attainable. You can use it on as many devices as you'd like simultaneously. Surfshark encrypts all internet traffic sent to and from your devices and ensures that your IP address remains hidden. The VPN service that we use at UFO Seekers, plus 1 month free for $1.99 a month. Visit surfshark.deals/seekers.
We all have that story to tell in our lives. The winds were howling. The ground shook. You could hear rushing water. And then, history repeats itself. When there's no power, refrigeration fails. Stores with their shelves stripped bare. ATMs can't operate. Deliveries stop. Then what? These events can last days or weeks. You need a plan. In statements made during recent interviews, FEMA Administrator Brock Long has repeatedly urged all Americans to understand 3 truths. FEMA is broke. The system is broken. If this is the new normal, Americans can't rely on federal cavalry when disaster strikes. Don't get caught out in the elements empty-handed. Prepare with us by going to preparewiththefringe.com and get your 2-week food supply. 92 servings, 8 food varieties with 25-year shelf life. Normally $137, now only $75. Or get a month's supply, normally $247, now only $147, shipped in 1 business day. Just go to preparewiththefringe.com or call 888-440-7931. That's 888-440-7931. Get this great offer and be prepared while it lasts.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by the Three Stooges Zen Meditation Center, the only New Age workshop in the area that shows you the way to true inner peace through bad haircuts and capricious physical violence. That's the Three Stooges Zen Meditation Center. Remember our mantra, nyuk, nyuk, nyuk.
Hey, Fringe listeners, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange Radio, asking you to join us live Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Fringe FM. Visit BeyondTheStrange.com for links to chat, social media, and schedules of the show. And remember, always stay strange Hasta.
Abnormal News, I'm Brad Bernards. The sun is right there in the name of NASA's Parker Solar Probe, but a second mission of opportunity may make the spacecraft just as vital to Venus scientists as to those studying our local star. Parker Solar Probe launched in August 2018, destined to spend 7 years looping ever closer to the sun in hopes of sorting out some of the hottest mysteries about our star. But to do so, the spacecraft needed a carefully choreographed trajectory, one that included 7 flybys of Earth's evil twin, Venus, and Venus scientists who haven't had a dedicated NASA spacecraft since the mid-1990s were not about to let that opportunity fly past them. Of course, Parker Solar Probe's instruments are designed to study a star, not a planet. Traditionally, planetary scientists want very different instruments on their spacecraft, but that doesn't make plasma data superfluous. 2 dedicated Venus missions have carried plasma detectors to the world, NASA's Pioneer Venus Orbiter and the European Space Agency's Venus Express. But those spacecrafts were built decades ago. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory has observed a magnetic explosion, the likes of which have never been seen before. In the scorching upper reaches of the sun's atmosphere, a prominence, a large loop of material launched by an eruption on the solar surface, started falling back to the surface of the sun. But before it could make it, the prominence ran into a snarl of magnetic field lines, sparking a magnetic explosion.
The explosion, known as forced or controlled magnetic reconnection, is triggered by an eruption on the sun, which causes tangled magnetic field lines to explosively snap and realign, shooting out particles and energy.
The observation, which confirms a decade-old theory, may help scientists understand a key mystery about the sun's atmosphere, better predict space weather, and may also lead to breakthroughs in the controlled fusion and lab plasma experiments. Previously, a type of magnetic reconnection known as spontaneous reconnection has been seen both on the sun and around the Earth, but this new explosion-driven type, called forced reconnection, had never been seen directly, though it was first theorized 15 years ago. The new observations have just been published in the Astrophysical Journal. Read the news at parabnormalradio.com. I'm Brad Bernards, Parabnormal News.
Somewhere between abnormal and paranormal, there's a show called Into the Paranormal. I'm Jeremy Scott. Hear me live Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern on the Fringe FM.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Semi-Honest Al's Used Cars, where every automobile you buy is fully guaranteed for 50,000 miles or until the end of the month, whichever comes first.
You're listening to Lighting the Void. The call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. If you would like to text, you can text in at 501-777-5631.
Well, it's that time again, the new moon with Mary Dusina Cosmic Conditions. She used to do this show back in the 80s in the Tampa area. Astrologer, herbalist, psychic. I mean, like, you are like the witchiest woman I know. Yeah, well, yeah, you are. You're the witchiest woman I know. Because you got 30 years under your belt, and marydusina.com, D-U-S-I-N-A, marydusina.com is the website you go to book a session with her. And everybody that's booked sessions with you has pretty much said you've changed their life. But tonight, you get to call in and get a small one. What was you saying?
Yeah, I'm humbled by it. I'm humbled to be able to do, the more we walk in steps of light, the more that we can uplift and encourage. And I'm not talking about fluffy words to lie to people. I'm talking about really give them let them take a hold of the steering wheel and navigate through some life storms, help them get through it. That's part of why our soul contract got us here in the first place. I really believe that.
Listen, before we take this call, I don't understand why we can't, I know it's a virus and stuff going on, but you can really have a lot of fun right now if you want to, if you just choose it. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is choose it.
Shift your perception.
I mean, if you want to be a rebel, go out, you can drive on the road. You're not going to hurt anybody driving around, and play, let's see if we can dodge the border patrol, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my neighbors my neighbors just said, and they're elderly. She just said, I told my husband, I'm going stir crazy. I've got to take a ride. And I said, can I ask you a question? They're both Scorpios. Can you imagine two Scorpios married together? But they get along. And I said, how long has it been since you and your husband, with all the things you stay busy with, being in the medical field and all that for years, how long has it been since the two of you as a couple went for a ride all around the Tennessee mountains?
Exactly.
She said, forever.
And that is a fun thing to do, actually, just ride around and listen to the music and talk. And not only that, you could, you could go out and look at the stars. There's all kinds of stuff to do,
favorite.
man.
Yep. Well, and what that does is it's building an actual Aries, face-to-face, word-to-word, eye-to-eye communication with the people that you consider to be your nearest and best. So, what do we usually say when we're working too many hours? Oh, my God, I'm so tired. I wish I could have time to cook. I wish I had more time with the kids. I wish I could have more energy with my husband or my wife. Yeah, my partner. Yeah, now we got it.
Exactly. 808 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Everybody.
Navier.
Hi.
Aloha.
Yeah.
We can.
I hear you.
Aloha.
I hear you. It's our moon child.
Awesome.
Would you like Mary to pull a card, or do you have a question for her?
I would love Mary to pull a card for me.
Fantastic.
Okay, it's a new deck I've got, actually, Navier, and I'll send Joe the picture of it. It's one of my favorite artists of all time that used to do artwork for a lot of rock groups, and it's the artwork of Gilbert Williams, which he's still on Facebook. But it's called The Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. Oh, my gosh, it's so wonderful. So wonderful. Yeah.
Yummy.
So and actually I told Joe we're going to pick a card out of this new Oracle deck, because I've waited for years for him to do anything but rock covers on CDs and things like that for his chat room too. So the one that you got is an 11. The number is 38. Now, what month are we in, Navier? What's the number of this month? 3. March is a 3. Okay, and you got 38. So 3 and 8. So we're going with August. So for you, there's a bridge of light that who you're connecting with, who's connecting with you, is also going to be something that builds in momentum either again in August or actually takes root in August. And I know you're familiar with the elementals. And the name of the card, it's an illuminated fae type of a fairy queen sitting on top of a beautiful flower in magenta, and the fae queen's got like the iridescent see-through, kind of like damselfly or dragonfly wings. She's got like the 4 sets of wings, and she's all like in light, looking up to the stars, and like in the other card that we talked about from Chicago, there was a shaft of light coming from the sun, from the heavens, to the person on the mountain. With your card, you have the moonlight, which is interesting with your sign, and you've got the stars actually doing that angel slide, if you will, or the drawing down the power of the moon, and she's all lit up with that. You happen to be a female biological, and this is a female essence on top of this flower. And you know how they talk about the center of the flower being the stamen and the pistons, and where all like the herbal constituency lies, when you get into those little stems of the flower, how important that is for flower vibrational medicine. That's what she's actually rising from. So it's got you in the center of the mandala, the center of the flower, and the name of the card is The Hidden Worlds. And the key words are shifts and changes in consciousness, awareness, extrasensory perception. So there's something that you've been doing that beyond your enjoyment of it in general, that has really been upgrading your ability to, like, you go outside now and it's like you're literally walking outside in an oracle deck. You're walking outside and it's like you see an animal totem, or you recognize what element is speaking to you. It's like, even though I may see the water every day over here on the Big Island, today the water got my attention. Today the cloud being got my attention. It spoke to me. So all of that is very amplified for you. And there's a male figure here. It's a messenger. It's one of the knights. Yours is the Knight of, in this deck, and the other deck I'm working with, it's the Morgan Greer deck. It's called the Knight of Rods. But in traditional tarot, it's the Knight of Wands. So here we pull in fire sign energy. So the elemental is like the little sliff that looks like a part dragon, part lizard, So lizard medicine is about your meditative ceremonial work, becoming quite profound to where you're like working with fire and looking at the fire and looking across it going, okay, there's a see-through spirit. Hi, guide. So it's like, boom, it's just going to be there. And I feel like that there's something about you thinking about a journey soon. So maybe some of this lockdown and planes being grounded and ships being brought into harbor has got you thinking about how people come to you, how you go to other people. But I see you, I know you're surrounded by water, but I see you, before this year ends, you're going to be making like a land trip. Like you're going to, I don't know if you're going to come to the States or go to the, the rainforest. You're going to like go, there's something that's going to be more earthy, more land. And I feel it will be warmer because we've got the element of fire here. So I feel like it's either going to be, as Indian summer happens, we're going from summer into the autumn time. Like it's like that last little kick of summer, but you're starting to see the foliage change and the leaves change colors and undress in a sense. So it feels to me there's something that you're someplace that you're going to be craving to go in that August-September timeline. Have you thought about that? Have you seen it in your meditations or ceremonies?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I'm always open for a trip.
Yeah, and it also, with this being a messenger male, it also could be someone that's born in that fire element of the Aries, the Leo, and the Sagittarius. They could have that strong in their chart to where they're either going to be a traveling companion, or it's going to be the impetus, or the conference, or the lecture, or the workshop, or something that maybe you're going to be a speaker. But there's something. I would be bold. It's Aries. I would be bold about maybe reaching out to, maybe they'll finance it, to where you actually could be a keynote speaker for something or be one of the vendors in a sense. And it's a win-win. You're marketing yourself and you're getting out there for what it is you like doing. And then you're actually, just say, listen, I'll come lecture for, pay all my lodging and my trip over there, and I'll give a 3-hour workshop. And just so you can, and see, you're already getting marketed, and then if you did any private consultations, all that's just gravy on top of the pie. But it feels this is going to be more, it feels like as we get past summer, Nadia, as we get past summer, that it feels like that you're really getting into your message, your consultations. It's like something really fuels up really big then, but it's innovative. But now Aries is a good time to plan what we'd like to do right before we get to the autumn equinox. So that may be coming to you in your ceremonies and your own oracle work and how you're refining it. It's like if you're used to people coming to you there, and why wouldn't they? It's such a paradisio there. But it feels like that Spirit might be saying, okay, you've landed in a very lush tropical paradise, but maybe some people that are in the desert need to know that energy. They need to know what a representative from the land of tropical flowers and the Samoan and the Paradisio islanders can bring back to the States. Like you're carrying that medicine bag, like you're there, and even though you've traveled all over, someone that goes to New Orleans every year, they carry an energy of Mardi Gras and New Orleans and hoodoo and voodoo. They've got that energy around them. Different than somebody that's just lived in Michigan or just California or Mount Shasta, that they're carrying a different kind of medicine bag. And so I feel like there's something that's wanting to merge and incorporate from like lush tropical into maybe still arid, but maybe more the way the Southwest looks.
Okay.
It's strong.
I love
it's
it.
Real
Thank you
strong.
so much. Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Avia.
Well, I am open. Yeah, I'm so open for new experiences and opportunities. Thank you so much for taking my call. Aloha.
Well, listen, and we'll thank you for calling. Call us back when it clicks in and you know what it's going to be, even though it might not be until August, September, if it's a fire sign, it's actually the person that you converse with, because remember, it's a knight, it's a messenger. I wouldn't lock in on it. Just had to be a male figure. It may be that you'll travel with the male, or that a male would be the head of it, but it may be these fire signs, this Aries new moon, and then it picks up momentum in the Leo season. Then once we start getting these planets rolling around into Leo, and then of course when we come before Sagittarius, as we come into the final fire sign of this year. So just look for that in their charts, or look for that in their, it's like, oh, when are you birthday? Oh, you're Leo. Okay, Leo rising. Oh, okay. Those are going to be like little talisman clues for you.
Okay.
Call us back.
Let
us know.
I will. I have my Mars in Chiron in Aries right now, so I'm totally feeling this Mars new moon, Aries new moon. It's intense.
Oh, absolutely. And this year, when Mars goes into Aries, it's going to spend a phenomenal time in Aries because it'll retrograde in Aries. Both Venus and Mars retrograde this year, so it could be, before the show closes, I'll give that date in case you don't know it, but when Mars gets into its home sign, ooh-wee, talk about Mars going, nobody's holding me back now. I have no leashes. My gas tank is full for the whole year. Mars will go, let me just tell you real quick before you hang up. Mars will slide into Aries for the first time on the 29th of June, and it's going to, oh man, you talk about full force. I mean, it's happy, and its home sign, it's happy. Actually, Joe, since you're in Aries, and since Chiron happens to be in Aries, it won't even go direct until the 14th of November, so it will finish, once it goes into Aries, it's going to finish out this year in Aries because of the retrograde. So that hasn't happened for someone who has Mars in Aries. That hasn't happened for 2 years. So you start thinking about where you were at and what you were doing 2 years ago. Because that's a Mars cycle, like that 18 and a half months to 2 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Like on this date right now?
No, when it goes in. So like once it shifts in, once it goes into the actual Aries point, then it's within range of, it's still okay if you just subtract 2 years, like what was going on in like the spring. The spring going into the late spring going into the early part of June 2 years ago. And just kind of make a little note of that. Those of you that are listening on the archive, make a little note of that. If you've got Mars in Aries, an Aries sun sign, an Aries rising sign, profound times coming up in the second half of 2020. But it's got to do with, you will be eliminating some things. It will be like, okay, been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, still love the T-shirt, not going back to the vendor again. So it's not that it has to be any harsh kind of goodbyes, but it's definitely going to be innovative.
Oh boy, innovation. I like it.
Inspiration, inspired,
I like it too. Getting dramatic
innovative
up in
inspiration. Here. Yep.
Well, tell kiss the Koki frogs for us, Navier. Thanks for calling.
I will. Big hugs from here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Night. Oh yeah, aloha. Actually, okay. Let me see who's next. We got one line open: 1-800-588-0335. If you want to call in, now's the time. Let's see who's next. 360 area code. You're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Aloha.
Oh, wow.
This is Yvonne calling.
Hey, Yvonne.
Wow,
you have a
it's island time.
Yeah,
this is the island
Hawaii.
hour. Hawaii. It's the
but
island
I'm
hour. How are you?
I am in Washington State, though.
Oh, that's not a very cool place to be right now, actually, I hear. But what's on? Do you got a question for Mary?
Yes, Mary, I got a question in regards to the message I sent you. I have shared with you that we are in a reset time.
Okay.
Okay, remember that?
I do.
And then you were, because there was a recent messaging. Also, in regards, your response was saying that you were sensing that we are in an embattlement or something.
Yes,
and
I feel like
I wanted you. Could you explain that? Elucidate a little bit more, please.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the things that I feel is that we're dealing with, when I talk about a type of battlefield of energetic frequencies, first of all, since we're in Aries, Yvonne, it has a lot to do with whatever battles we're having with our own shadow, regardless of our sign. Because the Western zodiac begins with Aries. So I follow the wheel. So in the Northern Hemisphere, we're having what's called spring equinox, the vernal equinox, Ostara. So I feel like that even with the symbology of the external world, now globally, it's not just a United States thing. It's not just a Washington thing. It's India, and India just went on lockdown today, and China and Japan, so the Olympics got postponed for a whole year. So there's a lot of there's an energetic, there's two things. It's like the antenna of the supernatural has amped up. It's like the antenna is at 7G right now. Yeah, and it's saying to us, like Joe was saying earlier, it's like the collective discontent and frustration. And I have to say this, and I'll own my own shadow. Sometimes when we get bored, or we feel like that there's a divine discontent, or why aren't things moving faster? Why isn't there more money? Why isn't there this or that? Why isn't this manifested? Why am I still here, there, with them, whatever? When we have that kind of surly low boil point within us, then the world is like, seems like people have gotten a little too caught up in the external TikTok ego, and so it's time for an appreciation. It's time for an appreciation. We're all being shown, the battlefield is, we now have to take our eyes inward because the external part of it's skitzing people out. And so we now have to take our eyes inwards and remember, this is a big reminder that we walk this world temporarily. Now, personally, I believe there is no death. We slip this skin, but we tend to get too owned by the material world, by possessions, by just that relationship, with the job or the kid or the money, and we start judging ourselves. I should be further along at this age. I should have this much money saved. I should have this size of a house, trailer, whatever. So the battlefield right now is own your own shadow and then unlock yourself. Just unlock yourself and realize that symbolically we have shadow and light at play right now. Normally we can go out in the external world, can't we? Even if we have $10 in our pocket and go get a taco or go get a burger or go do this or that. And right now, even if you have the money, the restaurant's going to go. Everything's the Capricorn boundaries. No, you can only get it to go. And you can only shop at the store from this time to this time. And things that we've not lived through before. Yeah, it's like shut down, doors closed, no you can't, one at a time, no more than 10. It's like we've got this big Gestapo kind of deal going on right now. And so there's a big external pushback, and I have to use the word, kind of like a rejection that we're not used to. And here's what goes on with us little humanoid mammals. When you start rejecting us, like Joe was talking about being a rebel, when you start rejecting us and you start telling us no, it's just like, oh, well, watch this. I'll go do this instead. But what it's doing is it's amplifying for some people, because they're greedy and they're stingy, for some people it's showing them, here's you. When you don't get your way, you go into anger and frustration and you become worse.
Exactly. And you act it out.
Yeah. Okay. And that's not a good side of Mars.
Yeah. Right. And the one thing, well, I'm glad that my Mercury has settled down, I tell you. But one thing I wanted to say, that's it. I mean, I have not been listening to your show, Joe, is because I've had to replenish my energy. I carry a very high vibration, and the spirit has gotten me going all over the damn place. Excuse my language.
That's all right.
But what I wanted to say, did you understand the connection that I was saying to what you have just said? That our adolescence, our spiritual adolescent days are over.
That's right. That's right.
I hope so.
That's right. Whatever you studied, whatever modality of healing or holistic or herbs or your chosen points of truth of the ceremonies that you've attended and gone through, whatever you wanted to study in magic or light work or healing, now you have to apply it. The studying is over.
Right.
Now there's a graduation. Get your butt out there and be a part of the solution.
Yeah, and so, and this has been, well, I kind of like this whole, you were, correct about that January eclipse, mid-eclipse. Because I have been, I've been given a, how would you say, a tune-up sort of. I jumped into a whole other sphere. Would you please relate to me in regards to what I'm doing? Because, man, my energy level, I have been busy. It's taken me, 2 days to recover my energy level back to even want to communicate.
It feels like your rejuvenation, Yvonne, it feels like your rejuvenation right now. I feel you very much in the ethers, in a sky world. The element of air.
Yes, I am.
So the breezes, the clouds, the way the wind moves across the where you live in Washington there, the grasses and the plants, the way you can watch the wind, although technically wind, they say, is invisible to the eye, but the way you watch it, the direction it's coming from, studying the directions of the winds with your culture on the medicine wheel, like is the wind coming from the east, beginnings, okay, that kind of a thing. Is it from the north? Your elders, your higher guides are speaking to you. Are the clouds moving north, south, east, west? Start looking at that. The sky totems that you see, the actual shapes and images you might see in the clouds. It's like the sky world is kissing you and bringing you your answers, and breath work. It's interesting that this virus tends to attack the villi and the lungs, and that's why they keep saying keep your throat moist, and goes into the lung area. And now they found out that a lot of the younger people are one of the symptoms that I just heard about today that was verified by the doctors, not just a rumor on the internet, was that some of the younger people, their only symptom is all of a sudden, Aries, quick, all of a sudden they lose their sense of smell and taste, gone. And when they quote, recover, it comes back.
Yeah.
All right, so...
No, the thing, too, people should be aware of also is that people who have had it, and then they get it again. And so there is a real thing where we may not be able to develop a vaccine that is based upon antibodies. They will have to go in regards to depend upon the enzymes.
Yes.
In order to address this virus. It's not going to be based on antibodies.
But I feel like, and I'll just say this to finish, I feel like that this is a reset for us, all of us, to move away from fear and more into find our peace, our meditation, our prayers, ceremonies, whatever you do, you better go there because it's draining your immune system and it's restricting your RNA, DNA to attract, I guess, in a way, Joe, like the law of attraction. We've got to get centered and we've got to go within. If you all out there are going within and having those deeper conversations with yourself and finding out what becomes your spiritual harbor, your spiritual anchor, you'll navigate the storm with no real crisis.
Okay.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Yeah, thanks, Yvonne, for the call. Really appreciate it. 707 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hi there, this is Sandra calling from the Humboldt Coast.
Hi, Sandra. Do you have a question for Mary?
Yeah, at first I just wanted to thank you and Mary for your blessings every month. You know, my coworkers, we listen at our Trim Stars, and we listen to archives at least 3 times a month, just getting the guidance.
How nice.
Wow, okay, that's cool.
Oh, how nice. Thank you so much for caring enough to, the first currency we have is what we pay attention to. What we give our attention to. We give and take from that. So that's my goal with either the live shows or the archive, because I hear people say, I fell asleep, I'm so mad. I'm like, no, just go hear the archive because that's when you're supposed to get the message. Yeah, so thank you for that. Thanks for reminding the audience of that. That's wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you thanking Joe, too. That's big medicine.
Yeah, thank you.
Medicine.
Yeah,
you want me to pull a card for you?
Team.
Thank you. Yeah, we are.
Actually,
we are.
If my guides could step forward.
Say that again. I think I heard you, but I want to make sure I'm clear. What did you say?
If my guides could step forward and if I could hear what they have to say to me.
Thank you, holy guides. Thank you, sacred guides, for revealing. Okay, I'm getting like a oval-shaped, I would call it, there's 2 types of teals to me. There's a teal green, and then there's like a teal blue. And I'm seeing like a real deep kind of, the blue is stronger than the green tones in this, so it's definitely not aqua. It's more of a blue orb. I feel a male feeling, or a yang, I guess, frequency coming forth. And I feel like that I want to go back 3 months, and then I want to go back again to where you were 7 to 8 years old in this incarnation. I feel like this guide chose to anchor with you then, that there were some very odd, intriguing, intense times in that year of your life between the 7th and the 8th year of your life. And then I go back and they tell me that 3 months ago you got yourself unknotted. You cut some major psychological umbilical cords, and this could have been work all within yourself, on yourself, about yourself. But I feel like that as 2019 ended, so did certain traumatic memories, experiences, and like Joe was talking about with like someone like Barbara that does the tapping. There's different modalities out there: Reiki, meditation, tapping. There's different ways of conversing with our angels and our Lord. There's different ways that you can call in the supernatural to help you in the natural. And for me, it's the Holy Ghost. I don't care whether anybody agrees with that or not. I'm not out to convince anybody, but that's how I roll. So I feel with you, there's now been such a nice clearing of a traffic jam or some clogging of these old wounds and psychological sludge that's now been released, that you literally, like when Marshall called in, I feel like that you also are ready to just really go on board for a whole new adventure, and you're really ready to embrace the new, where before you kind of were defensive or on the offense. I feel like now you're ready to say, you know what, I'll boldly go, or I haven't gone before. So I feel like there's a lot of really bright, and it's like you could go into a jungle and all the creatures would be friendly to you. It'd be like Jane or Tarzan of the jungle. It's like they would be like, oh, we speak her language, no problem. So I don't feel like there's like the boogeyman or anything scary or demonic or anything. I feel like with you that you really got a big shadow off of you. Does that make sense to you?
It makes complete sense, Mary. Everything, I resonate with everything you said 100%. Holy Ghost and this spiritual male figure stepping forward and us having dialogue in the dream world.
Wow. I especially see like this guide shows me wings, and they show me the wings. You know, sometimes angelic figures will have the wings, like you see the big hump of the wings, you know, and then they're down. These wings are like up. You know, like I see the humps, but the wings are interesting for the Sabian symbol of this month with the pyramid with the wings up, but I see the wings more than the whole. I see this blue oval, and then I see the wings. So I feel like there's not that you need to get attached to that angel or that guide. I usually associate Archangel Michael, Elu, Michael, with the blues and the whites. So it may be that, you know, Michael and Uriel work side by side a lot in the archangel hierarchy, and that may be part of what's behind that guide is the energy of Michael, which is the sword of the divine, you know, the defender of light.
I definitely do call for Michael. I definitely do.
Well, you're on target, and your card, before we say goodnight, your card is actually, I just pulled it, it's draped in blue. It's the Morgan Greer tarot that I'm working with, and it's the Knight of Cups, which is the Jack of Hearts. So this is the messenger, knight. They're like, you know, hear ye, I bring the proclamation of the divine. They're messengers, the four knights. And the Knight of Cups is water. It's the element of water. And the next water sign that we'll be in, which will also have some eclipses, is going to be right on summer solstice. We're going to have an eclipse right on summer solstice. So there's going to be this feminine, yin, a maternal type of aspect in your life that's a sweet spot, because that solar eclipse that happens right on Lithia on summer solstice, and it's going to be that there could be a profound female teacher, female figure, female healing, as well as the rising of you, the confident, wise woman, medicine woman that starts to really trust and employ both learning and giving of those healing gifts. There's something you're going to get into that has more to do with the holy healing. That's what they said, holy healing. Holistic holy healing is something that you're to wrap your arms around when you get to summer.
It's beautiful.
Thank you for calling. Where are you calling from, by the way?
Thank you so much. I'm calling from the Humboldt Coast. We're behind the Redwood Curtain here.
Redwoods.
You know, and the redwoods behind the Redwood Curtain. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I love it.
Thanks for calling.
Another beautiful spoke of light in the wheel. Another beautiful spoke of Washington and Kansas, and now we have behind the Redwood Curtain. Thank you for that. Be one of our antennas of light.
Everybody's like, that's Joe. He's not taking breaks. That's weird. Why not? Right. So let's see. 903 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with? Where are you calling from?
Well, hello, Joe and Mary. This is Tina and John, your number one truck driving fans.
Truck drivers.
Yay!
Awesome.
Truck drivers. Homage. Salute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We're in California right now.
See,
California.
Y'all are having fun out in the open road, right? During the apocalypse.
Woo! Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. The traffic's not too bad in the big cities. There's still some people in some of the cities, but it's not normally how it normally is. So it's kind of nice.
Fantastic.
Wow, you guys really have, instead of boots on the ground, you've got both. You've got boots, eyes, and wheels rolling. I mean, you guys are really. You should report in from time to time to let us know. You know, truckers see things nobody else sees. They're like the UFOs of the earth. You know, they see things that nobody else sees.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of trucker friends, and 4 years ago, one of my trucker friends that was going out of Florida all the way over to the West Coast and back was saying, you know, I'm seeing a whole lot of trucks that seem like they've got these boxes or these coffins, and I'm seeing these camps being built. You know, and he did that was his route out of Florida over to the California back. So he said something's weird about this because I've been doing this 20 years. Yeah.
Well, what question do you have a specific question for Mary, or are you just wanting her to pull a card for you?
I don't have a question, but we both wanted to see if she could pull a card for us if you have time for that. Or one card for both of us, whatever.
I'm sure she can make
any
them
nurses,
quick.
doctors, or truckers call in, or people that are cleaning up and sanitizing, they get my salute. So you got the Sun. What's interesting is that's a couple card in this particular deck, and it's the 19. And it's one of my favorite cards in the tarot. And the Sun card in this deck, it's different than the normal card where you have the young child on the white horse.
Does it got two
the
kids?
Sunflowers are still there. But you're looking face to face. The yin-yang, the male-female, are looking deeply into each other's eyes, knowing that they are both the bloom, the roots, the stem, and the blossom of the entirety of the experience, and how their energy radiates with each other accelerates either the multiplication of the flowers, which are the treasures, the pirate's treasures, the gifts, or if the flower would wilt because it didn't have enough of the moisture of love or the sunlight of harmony and happiness. And your other card, and it feels like this one is the Sun card feels like the male card, and the Three of Cups is up. That's actually like Beltane, or the dance around the maypole. It's the fertility dance and the rites of spring. And this has 3 yin female artistic figures on here. And we've got a brunette, and we've got a strawberry blonde, and we've got a dark-haired feminine archetype that has the Christmas colors in her wreath around her head. And they have the fruits on the table. So I believe that you're going to be having the fruits of your labors, the blessings. It's like you really get what a mission you're on. You know, it's like the old Blues Brothers movie. We're on a mission from God.
Damn right.
You know, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi were on a mission from God. And I really feel that with you two, that you guys realize that what seems to be a labor, a job, is actually a labor of love with what you're doing. And you know, but you have to have eyes on the prize to be careful now too, because you are coveted. You know, you're carrying all the prepper supplies people wish they'd had, and all the people that didn't prepare. So you need to be very aware. You know, you're like actually are pirates on a ship right now. You've got the treasure.
Yeah.
You're actually, you've got the treasure. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to keep your intuitive discernment very strongly, very strongly. And you keep that. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show about keeping that white, illuminating, radiating bubble around you. And I'll say this to you, around the 30th, 31st, and then again on April 3rd and 4th. If it looks weird, if it feels off, it is. Lock your doors, keep driving.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We appreciate both of you guys, and we love listening to you guys.
Well, you know what?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for thanks for doing what y'all are doing out there on the road. Have fun. You know, what do y'all do for fun?
Yep.
Just tell me real quick. Y'all play like the ABC game?
Gosh.
What do you play?
Springs. In the truck, you mean?
Yeah. You're telling me y'all are going to Hot Springs. Yeah, on the journey, right.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun, though.
Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah, we just went to Niagara Falls. We came from New York, so we try to sightsee any chance we get.
See, people are out having fun.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's Fallout, but some people are having fun. Sounds like y'all been in some hot springs too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Heck yeah.
Exactly.
If those were open, believe me, we'd be there.
Well, thank you,
There's
guys.
There's another site up in North Carolina that's got. Isn't it called Hot Springs? There's one that's up there near Waynesville, before Asheville. That's a really lesser known but pretty magical hot springs too. I think it's actually called Hot Springs.
Oh,
we got one.
that out.
Yeah, we got one in Arkansas too. So, yeah, thank y'all for when you come through.
You, Joe Roop.
Yeah, come through Arkansas.
Oh, how nice.
Email me when you come through Arkansas. I'll take you to where Las Vegas was originally supposed to be until the churches kicked them out. Right? So,
We're going to take you up on that now.
Heck yeah.
All right. You guys have fun. Behave.
What a magical day that'll be. And you know what? Thank you for getting back in touch with Love and Mama Nature. Good for you. Good for you.
All right. So I want to make sure I'm doing this in the proper order. I mean, just as soon as those phones hang up, another one's coming in here too. I believe we have 208 next. That's right.
Hello.
Who are we speaking with? Where are you calling from?
This is Abby.
Abby, where are you calling from?
Idaho.
Abby from Idaho. Is this Abby Normal in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got another Midwestern antenna. Oh, you got the Ace of Diamonds. You got the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Diamonds. I love the aces. The aces are first and foremost, Abby. They're gifts from the supernatural. And in most, I taught tarot, so I have to give you little teachings. In most tarot decks, there are two hands that come from the left and two that go to the right. So this one is coming from the left to the right, which means the gift is coming to you in the near future. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, of course, obviously, the old name for currency back in the Middle Eastern biblical times was called a talent. The coin was called a talent. And we've had rupees and we've had dinars. We have all these different names for currency. But your first currency is your health. And your second currency is often our talents and our abilities that we decide to fall in love with and to spend a lot of time with. So there's an archway here, and on the left side of the arch is the red rose of vitality. So working with rose oil, maybe bathing with Dr. Bronner's comes in different flavors. One of them, he now has a rose one out there. There's peppermint and lavender and eucalyptus, but there's a rose, Dr. Bronner's liquid Castile soap. Rose is very soothing to the skin when there's aberrant or weird things out there, and working with rose oil to moisturize your skin. On the right side, which obviously speaks to me of Easter Passover, is the white lily. And it's got the palm branch coming up through it, which is victory, illumination and victory. And the hand is issuing forth from a cloud holding this Ace of Diamonds, this Ace of Pentacles. So it's always, always, always a card of Spirit wanting to thank you and be generous with you and to show you tangible materializations of some type of opulence and prosperity. So it's like job well done, pat on the back, here comes some manifested good karma. So it's when one has built through their deeds and their actions and their attitudes, and just the good person that they are, we accrue credit in our karmic bank account too. And this is like a payoff. This is like, you've got credit. You could get that. If you need to get a loan from Spirit, if you need to get backing from Spirit, if you need to, take a leap of faith and actually work with Earth's currency as well as talent currency as well as supernatural backing, you've got it. You've got it. Spirit would say you're definitely a good credit risk. Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you
so
much, you guys.
I see you in yellow. Do you work with yellow at all in your meditations, or have you been drawn to a certain shade of yellow? Because I see it all around you. So this has got to do with some type of acceleration.
Christmas. Right now, I have yellow Christmas lights around me.
It's your color for the next few months. It's your color. So at least breathe it. If you don't want to wear it, work with it in prayer and meditation because they're yellow for a reason.
All right. Good to know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome, Abby. You have a good one. Abby from Idaho. Abby Normal. 1-800-588-0335. My goodness. I feel sorry for people that are... We're going to have to get some more lines for you, Mary. I don't know what to tell these folks. 620 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Mary. Hi, Joe. This is Brittany. I'm also from Kansas.
Brittany from
and
Canada.
I called for the first time last month. So I kind of just want to see what Mary's called to tell me, or a card.
Okay. It feels like, did you have a little bit of a door closing, or a little mini disappointment, or a little bit of something? It feels like something like kind of faded, or the real momentum or steam went out of it, but I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I feel like its time has just not come yet. It feels like that like it's still a work in progress. It's just not the right timing, but it's one of those, this too shall pass. The timing is just, the fruit's not ripe yet, those kind of things. And the card I get for you is the Two of Cups, which is, for me, just my little take on the Tarot Oracle. The Two of Cups is the Two of Hearts, and it's the soulmate card. It has a lot to do with, and let me tell you a little thing I learned over the years about soulmates. Usually, because it's an electromagnetic merging, usually one of the partners recognizes the other one, like, oh, I've known them before, I have a different feeling here I've never had before, this is so intense. The other one does not recognize it yet. They come to know it. It's like more of the lesson for them to learn to come to trust, and like they're not quite awake to it. One of them's very awake to the fact of who that partner has been, will be. Not that they see every detail. The other one is going to get to come to that recognition of soul to soul, heart chakra to heart chakra, third eye to third eye. And I feel like this is a third eye acceleration opening for you. And so when you work with colors and the chakras, you may find that you're drawn to indigo, dark shades of blue. It's not a royal blue, it's like a blue purple. And I feel like that in meditation is going to kind of open up that center, and also, doing affirmations and summoning. Almighty I am, imbue me. Almighty I am, come, I allow you, I receive you. So I feel like that maybe doing some chanting, some listening to music that actually have the Om, or some type of ancient Nam Myoho Renge Kyo type of chants, whatever you're drawn to, whatever culture you're drawn to, the Lord's Prayer. It can be in Hebrew, but it can be Native American, First Nations people. But I feel like there's something about a melodic chant or words or your favorite prayer that's going to like kickstart this third eye being open for you, which is the pineal gland. And so when you eat lighter, like it's okay. I don't have an issue if somebody wants to eat certain things, but if you find that you eat the rainbow, if you find that on Monday, the day of the moon, you eat light-colored things like white-fleshed things, fruits, or like colors that would be the actual fruit or the vegetable would be lighter colors. On Tuesday, when you get to the day of Mars, then you'd eat your red onion or red grapes or cranberries in your smoothie. Start working with the rainbow that way and work through your food groups. I feel like for some reason the veggies and the fruits are talking to you, whether in powder or in a smoothie, and that eating light for about 7 days in a row will open up that intuitive center. And it's really going to be fascinating to you. It's kind of like you having this whole classroom with yourself intuitively and psychically, and that starts this year. That starts soon.
Oh, Mary, you blow my mind every time I call you. That's crazy.
Crazy good. It's cray good.
Yes, crazy good. I'm a Scorpio who was lost, and we talked about like old past and stuff, and then like something recently happened in my life, and not my husband. We're really good, but it's just like a reawakening to how good we really are.
Oh, that's nice. I'm so glad to hear that. I always want to be encouraged with love blooming, so that's what you got. You got the soulmate card and the Two of Cups, and go online and look that up yourself. There'll be, if you just type in the Two of Cups, what'll pop up on the internet is all kinds, or on Pinterest, all kinds of different visuals of different oracle decks of that card, and it would be neat for you to pick your favorite one and then to see what your hubby, which is the one that he picks, like which one of these Two of Cups would you be most attracted to? I think that would be a neat thing to do.
Yeah, and this is the second time two's popped up, because I got Two of Pentacles the first time.
Did you? See, I won't remember that. I really work hard not to remember previous readings with any callers or clients, because I always want to be like fresh and spontaneous in the present, because that is the gift. That's why it's called the present. But I really appreciate, I know Joe does, I can speak for him on this, that you call back and you give us like tangible details of how it helped. And like I said, my point is to help us navigate smoother, easier in life's waters and storms and high tides and low tides. So that's big to me.
Yeah, when you call back and let us know how things are, that's really good. And I mean, a lot of Scorpios are going through a lot of tough stuff right now, you know.
Well, and it's good that it's good for us to know that we're helping. You know, it's good for Joe and I to know, or any of Joe's featured guests to know, that we're actually helping make a difference. That's what makes us star family and tribal, because we're actually, with our mutual frequencies, it's also about Joe, you know, progressing with the station and all the shows and everything, and us blessing him, but because he's always giving back to us, you know. So when we're actually on here giving our time and tithing our creativity, it's so wonderful to hear the recipients call back and go, wow, that shifted me. Wow, that validated that confirmed that for me. Then everybody sees what a win-win it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you guys for sure are doing amazing work. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what we got next here. Yeah. They're coming in so fast I can't keep up with them now. We have a line open. See, there's another one. All right, hold on just a second. 480 area code, you're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Mary. Hey, Joe. This is Jose in Phoenix.
Jose in Phoenix.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Hold on, I got to say something quick. Just real quick. If you're calling the station number, we got our phone system back. Please don't call the text line, because I'm not going to answer it. The number to call is 1-800-588-0335. If you can't get through, then just keep trying. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead.
No, it's important. It's important information. Phoenix, Arizona, another on the western part of the medicine wheel. So this has to do with the we, where Aries would be the dawning and the eagle and the sunrise. The west part of the medicine wheel has to do with the bear, and it has to do with sacred, significant others. And the card I got for you, and then you can ask a question if you want to, but the card I got for you is number 8, and it's called the liminal dance, which is you really get it about how things can be temporary or fragile, or things are in almost like a transcendent phase, or it's like temporary, and there's a delicacy to certain experiences that we have, and the picture on the card is Stonehenge. So you think about crystals, and you think about stones, and you think about how they represent the record keepers. You know, the stones, there's been like recently like a little an artistic craze that's been going on with people that, like, they paint rocks with little messages on them or little faces, and they like take them to different places kind of in secret, and they leave them there for other people to find them. And I feel like that you're in sync with your intention, that you're letting the shape of your days be congruent with your willpower. So it's like you're in a phase of not only being recharged and reawakened, but Spirit tells me that this is a time that you're remembering a lot of the forgotten spaces and places, that the things you once knew, and that you feel the powers arising in you, that you may be having some childhood, like what they call the secret garden, or the places, no matter what goes on in our life, that are the sweet memories in our childhood, like my favorite place in the yard, my favorite dog, you know, the little steer that I bottle fed. I mean, those kind of things that no matter what's going on in the home life, the ups and downs, that there were those points that children have a way of finding at the beach, in the woods, by the tree, amongst the flowers. And there's something about you standing really strong, knowing there's more to this puzzle around you right now that would just be dreamt of. It's like you're being reminded of your eternity. You have within you also a delicate power of compassion and understanding, and at times you're getting in touch with your gentle, sometimes a little fragile space within you, like where it would be nice for you to get, not that you need it, but for you to be able to get the recognition and the acknowledgement for the kind person that you are. Does that make sense to you? It's like there's a part of you I just feel a really sincere, truth-seeking, gentle person that oftentimes maybe people haven't seen it, maybe people didn't recognize it, but it's a mighty power within you. And I guess sometimes we have to realize that most of the time it has to be enough that we know, that Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, that we know that we are in constant communication with what we know the right thing to do is and the right way to be. And if our spirit self says, don't go there, walk away from there, that's a temptation. That's not going to be a good road for you. It's going to be a distraction off your path. It's like you're being aligned, really aligned to follow your path. Have you felt that? Do you recognize that? Are you like steering a different direction?
I am recently, yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, recently it's just been, I felt like I once was really open and about expressing, like when I care about someone, yeah, like making cards and whatnot, randomly or whatever.
I love that.
And I kind of steered away from that the last 5 years or so. And I've been recently, doing that kind of stuff again and kind of feeling a little bit more like myself,
Yeah,
like
and so what you did was you could...
Go
ahead, I want to hear it. Go ahead. I'm glad you're coming back to that. I'm sorry, go. You go.
Oh, stepping on each other now.
No.
Sorry. I want him to go.
But, yeah, I was just going to say, like, whenever I find something that I admire in someone, or I think it's really cool, or they're really passionate about something, I'll make them a card and, like, buy them something to go along with it.
I love that.
That's
kind
cool.
of feeds that passion. And it makes me feel like myself, which I haven't felt in a really long time. And I feel like I am coming back to that.
That's what you should be, man. You should be yourself all the time. And if you feel like you want to do something caring or passionate for somebody, whatever voices are coming in your head or telling you that's not a good thing, don't listen to it. Never.
I agree. And I think that the part of that, when I would use the word fragile, it's like really, it's not weak. Really fine crystal or a beautiful object to art or, something that a child did for you at 3 years old and now they're 20, that has a certain respect to it, a certain walk down memory lane. It's a treasure in your life. So when you actually do a specific drawing or card that you're actually pronouncing and celebrating that unique quality of someone that you admire, something about them that's so unique, you're really creating almost like an artistic soul portrait for them. You're doing like almost what the old term used to be automatic writing, and there's another term of telepathy called automatic drawing. So what you're actually doing is you're downloading and you're allowing Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, to actually give you that divine inspiration to guide your hand to draw it, doodle it, whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you, that's unique. You need to really, don't ever give that up again. That's unique. That's and how let me ask you this: how good does it feel to be back to yourself now?
It feels amazing. It really does.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Don't let loose of it again.
Yeah,
right.
Don't ever let that part of yourself go, ever. Yeah, thanks for calling. I used to think that stuff too, though, man. Like I used to think, like, it's weak to be passionate and care about people and send them cards and be romantic and stuff because they got all these freaking gurus out there that are teaching dudes just to be hard asses and. Even if that were true, do you really want to be that person, or would you rather be who you are and find who you're supposed to be with? I guarantee you, there's somebody who'll appreciate it.
I'd rather have my living legacy be one of spontaneous, passionate, inspirational, artistic expression than being a hard ass. I mean, I would rather have people talking behind my back about how inspirational and creative and uplifting that was instead of what a hard ass.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Look,
make my choice.
510 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who he's speaking with?
Oh, hey. This is Santa, the singing mind reader.
Hey, what's up, Santa? What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up, Joe? How's it going?
I told Santa. I told Sansa to listen to the show because I bragged on you, Mary. Do you want Mary to pull a card for you?
Oh, gosh, I would love it. I am having a really intense new moon tonight. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it through. I'm so glad I'm on air. That's great. Hi, Mary. It's an honor.
Hi. Thank you, and bless you. Just so you know, I hate it when people don't tell them what oracle cards they're using or tarot decks they're using. For you right now, I'm using. It's called the Morgan Greer, and you can still get it. Tarot deck. The back of the deck has beautiful white stars all over a royal blue back. And the card you got is number 17, which is interesting. It's the card of Aquarius in the major arcana, and it's called the Star. So there's something about you that not only do you have some creative gifts that flow in through you, but you not only receive like a divine circuitry, like you get charged up in different ways. You get like these, I want to call it like a divine stimulation, and then you also like to like the Aquarius, Aquarius is the constellation. It really isn't the waters of the earth. Aquarius has the urns and the vessels of the stars, and the electricity of the reflection of the sun and the stars actually that they bring to the land. So either the Aquarius part of your chart, the Aquarian energy, of course, Saturn's going in Aquarius, Mars is going in Aquarius on the 31st of March. And what I feel with you is that you're going to be shifting somehow with how you do and express your artistry, your creativity, your message to the world. There's something to do with you. It's like you're in a little bit of a war with yourself, though. There's a part of you that's kind of wanting to be back burner and quiet, but there's the other part of you that's like, no, then I have my dynamic mood and I got to go do this. So it feels to me like you're going to kind of settle that with yourself. Like you got to kind of get those two parts of you in harmony with each other. Does that make sense to you?
Totally. Yeah, definitely.
And then the other card out of my other deck,
be a big shift.
Yeah. Well, 17 is, the moon is the 18th card, and the sun is the 19th card. And so when you get to the star, it's more contemplative. So it speaks to you about being out under the night sky, literally, and that's your power time of the day, that when the stars, right after twilight, which is one of the tween times, right at twilight, it's where the stars are actually encoding you. They're actually like, some people get a lot of energy when they're out laying in the sun at the beach. But with you, I feel like and of course at new moon, even when it's a clear sky and it's not raining or snowing, then the stars are actually stronger. I mean, it's the reflected light of the sun. And it could literally be that there's something of your own sign that you want to study. The constellations, the main constellations and their myths and their legends of your particular sun sign for this lifetime, because there's something about that, or a certain star system. Like, I'm real drawn to the Pleiades with you. I'm real drawn to the Seven Sisters, and I feel like that there's something to do. Yeah, it's like you're now moving into more of you're a biological feminine that understands masculinity. You understand the dynamics, the sensuality of men. You understand what kind of lights them up, gets the rocket going and all that. But there's a part of you that now wants to take that magic of how to stimulate that which would be attractive or attracted to your style of creativity, and you're now wanting to apply it in more of a mystical way, if that makes sense. So I see something to do with like color and sound and do you sew or do you make creative things?
Yeah, I do everything. Yeah, I do.
I love that. Yeah, I do everything.
Yeah.
Well, and the other card that you got is number 3. This is March of 2020. So there's your 3. 3 is like, 1 is the magician and 2 is the high priestess, and then we go to 3, which we start getting into more of the Empress vibration. And your other card is almost like an Egyptian type of female beauty. There's a rainbow coming right into the heart chakra, which is a door that's opening up, and it's called the Mother Awakens, and it's compassion and guidance. So I think it's each each end of that rainbow is a curved bridge. So not only is there the legendary pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that we go on Vision Quest with, but with you, I feel like that some things that you had to kind of back up from or back away from or shift venues or something shifted as far as direction or dimension, and now your heart door is opening up, and Spirit wants to say, oh, be not afraid. What lies before you is more exciting than where you've been.
Oh, good. Thanks, Spirit. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's real strong with you. Yeah, it's like, but there's that human part of you that's like, oh, I don't know if I can fully put my toe and walk through the door of the future. I've got my heel on the backside of my toes holding open the door of what has been and what's familiar, and you can't have the foot in both the door of the what has been past and what wants to open in the future. You got to walk on through. That's your faith. You got to walk on through.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
So send energy ahead of yourself. Send energy ahead of yourself. You know, we've got Saturn and Mars going in to Aquarius on the last 2 days of this month. So under this new moon, while you're writing your check to yourself of intentions and manifestation, whatever you've been afraid of, put down there in the memo, paid in full. That you've paid that fear in full. You're done with it. And what you're writing to is the gleefulness and the sparkling of what you're ready to invest with yourself. Like you're paying it forward to yourself. It's an Aries new moon. You get to write the check to yourself. You get to ask for what you want right now. Yeah. Yeah, so instead of like, well, I really should tithe, I really should think about it. No, hell no. It's Aries. It's okay for you to claim what you want for yourself. And as the old evangelist lady used to say in the old Southern churches that many a times I've been in, I remember her sitting there going, well, you can't just divinely ask for it. You've got to also be able to receive it, and then you've got to claim it. You've got to claim it, which shows to the godly and to the heavenly that you indeed deserve it, and you'll do good with it. So claim the glory. Claim the glory. You got glory.
We got to take another caller, but what do you think about that, Sansa?
I love it. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will do everything that you said, and I have some glories I still need to claim that they brought me, and then I will write my petitions for the rest of this month. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you. Bless you.
All right. Look, I haven't let you take a break. Are you okay, Mary? Because
I'm okay.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's got to be this one. 410 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina, who he's speaking with. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Joe and Mary. This is Fee calling in from Virginia. How are you all doing tonight?
What's up, Fee?
Thank you, sir.
Honestly, just finished some work for the night. Yeah. My birthday's coming up soon. Thought I'd just see what's up.
Oh, you got a very powerful card. Happy birthday, 2020, by the way. You got the Chariot. The Chariot is number 7. To me, 7 is a very powerful mystical number. It ties in with the 7th chakra, the crown. It ties in with the violet flame, the flame of transmutation. The saint is Saint Germain. And the Chariot is the same as the Merkabah, which is the spirit body of light, which is the two triangles intertwined with each other. And it's like one points down, one points up, but it's actually the sacred geometry of how spirit is integrating into your thought world, into your astral emotional world, and into your physical body. But this is a cycle where you're on the move. And obviously with it being a 7, I think about the eclipses that happened both on June 5th and July 5th, and I feel like, and it is the card of the sign of Moonchild Cancer. I mean, on the charioteer's belt, his gold belt around his girth, he has the symbol of Cancer the crab, and he has the 2 crescent moons on his shoulders. So you are embarking on more than some of the other callers with their telepathy and their psychic ability. With you, it's about emotional clearing and emotional engineering. They tell me that it's got to do with your balancing the empathic part of yourself, the emotional part of yourself, the feeler part of yourself, into being able to kind of not restrict it, not constrict it, but not let it just run wild nilly-willy either. I feel like you're like an artist of the feelings, like the feelings are wanting to flow with you, and that's what's on the move within you. Your inner universe, the inner smile, the inner realms are very, very powerful for you, and the moon phases are very powerful. I would venture to say the full moon we've got coming up was a real strong cycle for you. I'm talking fast because we're running out of time. April 4th through the full moon of April 7th and 8th as we come into Passover. Remember that, because I feel like that your own personal spiritual guides are going to want to be getting some very specific messages to you around that time, from the 4th of April to the 8th of April. Just kind of write that down.
Okay, will do. Thank you very much.
Call us back.
Thank you for calling. 713 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from. I'm actually in Chicago. I'm a truck driver as well. I'm actually I live in Sugarland, Texas, but I'm a truck driver. I'm in Chicago right now, sir.
Awesome.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you for calling. Oh, I love it. It's just like the old Laura Bell shows. I loved it when the truckers called in. Homage and salute to the truckers. Do you have a question? I get excited.
Thank you, man. Well, no, I was just looking. I don't know whether I should change. I don't know if I should go with this one partner that I got now, or if I should go with this other partner.
You got options, huh?
You know, I'm just. Yeah. Well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm kind of on the fence. You know, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of, you know, freaked out about it.
Do the options know about each other?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes,
all right,
sir,
cool.
Yes, sir.
I feel
Yes, sir.
what I'm seeing is a male, and I'm feeling like his natural. You know how people change things nowadays with hair plugs and hair colors and all that. I feel like that his natural coloring is kind of medium to like he wouldn't be a dark. The one I'm picking up on doesn't have really dark black or really dark. His natural color now. Sometimes we get silver and white, but I feel like that it's a male with like fair complexion, fair eyes, maybe like a lighter brown shade of hair with maybe some auburn tints to it from time to time, standing out in the sun. He's kind. I feel like that he doesn't have to be loud. He's kind of like a quieter type of personality, but I feel like that he's represented by the King of Hearts, but I feel like that he represents the solid. You can rely on it. He's trustworthy. There's no, shenanigans. There's no like competition it's just like a good, solid, trustworthy person. The other one feels like that it's more electric and like it's a bold adventure, and this idea may work out in the long run or it might not.
Okay, wonderful.
I feel like you need to go with that.
Did that really help you? Did that really help you though?
Yeah. Yes, sir, it did. Actually, yes, sir, it did. It's wonderful. Well, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Fantastic.
Yay!
Thank y'all so much for your time.
Call us back and let us know.
Drive safe, and as I say to my trucker friends, journey blessings.
Oh, yeah. So we can take one more, but it's going to have to be like fast. And I'm going to do 469 area code here. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with? Where are you calling from?
My name is Richard from Dallas, Texas.
Richard from Dallas. You got a question, or do you want Mary to just pull a card for you?
Just pull a card, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I got the 10 of Pentacles. That's the 10 of Diamonds. So this has to do with you reaching a high point or the apex of some kind of career, job, opportunity. It's a solid deal. I like what I'm saying as far as you accomplishing something, winning something, on top of your game with something. You are progressing into a more prosperous cycle. I really like this, and I see something like just like that old song. I can't even remember who sang it. I used to hear it a long time ago, and it used to annoy me, but I liked the words to it. Everything's coming up roses. So I keep hearing that for October, and I keep hearing that woman that really couldn't sing that good, but I liked the words to it. And I feel like there's something about October of this year that you make a major investment in and a major decision to commit, like a marriage or a house or land. There's something big that you're going to be happy to settle into.
Thank you very much. Everything resonated very well.
Thank you for calling the show. Thank you for your support of us and Joe.
Thank you for calling.
Taking my call. You guys are awesome.
And that's all I got. That's all we got for the night, folks. I'm sorry.
I have to just say one thing for the chat room, just one thing, because they already have my website and you've already done the banner. So for the chat room, they got the number 7, the tree of illumination, and I feel with the vibration that it's got to do with your limbs, what you're reaching for. The branches of a tree or your connection with your own creative and psychic gifts. You're plugging in. You're like your plugs. I see your chat room is plugging into certain frequencies. So with that comes a warning. Be careful what you ask for. You may indeed get it. Make sure you want it.
Yeah, right, for sure. Be specific. If you start asking for stuff, that's what I always say.
Take responsibility for it.
Try to be as specific as you can. Deep down, though, I think your souls and hearts know what you want. And I don't know. I would say right now, if I was going to end on something, I'd say, vibrate exactly what you want to be. If you want something in your life, be that person, or do that thing, especially right now.
Aries receives inspiration, and their aspirations come true if they stay true to themselves. Authenticity rather than game playing or lying or manipulating. Those are things that are going to cast a shadow that, as you know, Joe, with the mirror, it comes right back to the sender. So good luck with that.
Return
those of you that
to
do
sender.
that, it's not going to work. The greed is going to fall. That's the side of Capricorn. Anybody that's trying to do any kind of manipulative agenda or steal off of somebody else's thunder, you're going down.
Well, I'm sure they thought it was a sweet notion, but yeah, deep down we can see the stuff that's going on deep beneath your subconscious, all the way through you, down into the darkest parts of you. Just be aware of that.
Yep.
So,
those who have eyes that will see.
Thanks, Mary. You guys go get a reading from Mary at marydusina.com, MaryDusina, marydusina.com. We'll see you on the next new moon. Everybody take care of each other. Be nice. You got anything you want to say? We got 30 seconds. Mary?
I want to bless you all. It's going to be a very powerful time that comes up at our April full moon. It's in Libra. So everything that we needed to finish off from a relationship that got flushed finishes off completely between the 31st of March into that full moon. So get ready for the power that happens over April 4th toward the 7th and the 8th of April. You probably should have some kind of astrologer or mystic on that full moon if it ends up being during the week, Joe, because that's going to be a moon where people are in need.
Well, thank you for saying that, Mary. Thank you for coming on, and thank you all callers, all you in the chat room. Big shout out to Chronoke, Steezy, Stevie, all the music. Don't copy the show without written permission. And big shout out to Barbara, Amanda, Dennis, Jeremy Scott, Eric Markham. God, I can't thank enough of you people. Pacho especially. Love you, brother. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Good night. What in the...